Hello, hello. Did I get shifted to the side here? What's going on? I think I need to move this camera. So yesterday, hey Perinox. Yesterday I was sitting here, Abby was on my lap, and she just like flipped out, completely flipped out. She was peaceful and purring and calm for like an hour, and then she just jumped and she like knocked the monitor off of my desk, which knocked the speaker off of its stand. Everything's like scuffed now. Anyway, I don't know what happened. She was there for an hour or so and she was just totally relaxed and I was petting her and everything, and I don't know what scared her. I don't know if it was me somehow. I don't know if she was like sleeping and dreaming and got startled or if there's something else. Anyway, I don't think there's damage to my monitor. It did just fall off the desk and damage the wall in its way as it was falling, hastily. All right, so Adam's goal for today is to flesh out some of the content of the new challenge mode. Let's get the old document. The context behind some of these changes is here. Okay. Let's get rid of that. So, tenets. Oh, I never actually clicked that apparently. All right, let's copy that. Tenant review. Thanks, Alex. How's the weather treating you in Brazil? It's pretty nice. It is a balmy 75 or so. Oh man. All right, let's see. I took a break last week, which is why I didn't have a tenant review on the first. But I didn't go anywhere, and I did still work. Well, I took a break from coding and streaming last week. It was nice to get that time to myself, though. Also, I think I realized that I shouldn't be mixing in marketing when I have difficult work, since it causes Skeleseller to bleed into my evenings and weekends a bit too much. So bricklaying, definitely going great, where I've done what I've had to do and I've been making good progress. I did work over the weekend despite what I said about sustainability, but it was nice. And I'm just excited about getting the revamped challenge mode into the hands of playtesters. Okay, Hypnotic Bind. So overall, I think tenets are on track. I've got my eyes wide open about how much time I'm spending doing this stuff. And I think we're just going to cut out marketing for a bit. And I'll get back to it, but yeah, now's not the time. So we did 10 weeks. Note, marketing is on hold. I did 10 weeks of it, ending, yeah, no new goals as of 9/1/25. Okay, I don't know if I just said this, but hey, who cares? I don't know if I thought it or if I said it. All right, so I did not do any more coding work yesterday. So this stuff that I was working on, I need to, did I actually do anything? I did a little bit of it, yeah. Yeah, so this stuff I was working on, we need to make into real stuff. And I'll file these things. So challenge track ideas, where is that? Did I put stuff here? Negative modifiers, change money objective. That should just happen every time. What is this? Enchanter. spells don't last as long. I'm not sure how I feel about this. In practice, this will probably make people not value auto casting as much, since you would want to time loop magnet properly, time the spells properly. It's amazing you still haven't used AI for Particle Seller. At this point, a lot of projects are vibe coded. I am using AI, just to be clear. I am still using Copilot. I'm just mostly using it as autocomplete. But yeah, I know what you mean. And I was actually thinking of vibe coding one part of this, kind of just to give it a shot. And also because the part I want to vibe code would be incredibly simple. It's basically a JSON ingestion server for my mini PC. And I could see it being like less than 100 lines of code. So probably the perfect thing to vibe code. And yeah, there are so few requirements that I think it should be pretty simple. So maybe we can get that done in like 5 minutes. Although that would be later this week, I think. I think the way this week is going to go, today is probably going to be about content. Tomorrow, I don't know. Wednesday, I think we're going to probably tackle the save system. And I think it'll take a decent amount of time because we got to design it too. In fact, maybe we do that tomorrow. Let me write that down. Maybe design the save system for challenge mode. Yeah, that could be interesting. And then, yeah, Thursday, I don't know. It all depends on how much we get done. And then Friday, I also don't know. But what I want to do is, as soon as possible, release this stuff to playtesters. I was thinking about it, and they already have access to a challenge mode. Now, granted, that challenge mode is going to change. But if this incarnation of challenge mode were to be the most popular one, then I would probably see people playing like nonstop and still sharing feedback and whatever else. And it's just not there yet. And I think the fact that people aren't playing it super often is a sign that I should have changed things, which is what we're doing. We're changing things. It's just, yeah. I mean, imagine if I made Tetris or something and I'm like, I should probably revamp the whole game, but people are like addicted to it. They're playing, 10 hours per week or 20 hours per week or something like that for a game that's not finished yet. I'd be like, maybe there's something to this idea. Yeah, that hasn't happened. Should have the objective increase every level. Yeah, I like this thing. Okay, this can be a benefit. These are meta perks, I guess. Cool. And yeah, nice. All right, let's go back to the to-do list then, because I don't remember where we left off. Change the winning screen to show rep calculation. Yeah, so this is what we have now. Perk points earned 3. So you can't get to this screen without earning some rep. This could say 0 though, which is maybe not interesting. Maybe it should say reputation earned and tell you your number and then how many perk points that equates to. Because you'll always earn some amount of reputation. So that'll be non-zero. So that's what we should probably do. All right, then here's what we're going to say. We're going to say reputation label. This is just going to say reputation earned. And then this will be reputation value. And this will be reputation tooltip. Okay. So reputation earned is going to pretty much always say this. And then what do I need to do? This stuff is all fine, right? Yeah, that's all fine. This is not fine anymore. So this is reputation tooltip. We need to change this. All right, well, let's do it. Is there a button to do this here? What is this? Run project associated with this file? Okay, there is a button to do this and it's here. What do these other buttons do? Show leading and trailing, toggle, split it. Okay, yeah. All right, that's the button I wanted. I wasn't sure it was there, and it is there. Neat. All right, so reputation tooltip. This is on the end screen, and we do need to customize this somehow. And let's go save that off then. Private tooltip on parent, reputation tooltip, null. Go fetch that. Hey, Smack. How goes it? How it goes. Okay, so something needs to set this up. I guess set text and update. It doesn't really need it. I could just say text, I guess. Agree. Hello world. I had this written out somewhere and I'm gonna have to figure this out again. Man. I deleted the buffer that had the style that I wanted. I probably should have saved it. All right, reputation earned is right there. Yeah, so, and it says hello world when you hover over it. So we need to set the text as well. So this is going to be the reputation value. What do we want to do for that? Town.reputation rep earned. And then it's got to have that font size thing afterward that says hover for details. Okay, yeah. I guess this is kind of what we had here. So I think I want to say something like objective score. Medal earned. Gold. The medal is going to show next to time. Hmm. I don't know how I want to do this exactly. So we could say time like, 32. Wait, what? There's an out of there. It's a percentage. Time taken 32M, 42S, whatever. And it could say like gold medal. Or it could say something like no medal. Alternatively, we could put it below this. We could say time and then medal earned none. Well, this would be gold. Hey, Karada. Happy Monday. I don't know if splitting it onto multiple lines is a good idea. I think putting it into one is probably fine. And then I think being able to see the breakdowns of this when you hover over would be good, which is what shows over here. Target time, gold, silver, bronze. Yeah, I think I like this. Okay, so change the time. What is that called? Time value. Time value. Change time value text to have a tooltip. Change time output, I guess. Time value text should have a tooltip with the metal breakdowns, and we should render the metal you get just after the time. We should only show the time taken, not the bronze goal, and not the percentage. Yeah, I think that's okay. So basically this. Okay. All right, so ignoring that bit. This is all pretty straightforward stuff. The most difficult part is coming up with what this all should look like in the first place. Making it look like that is not very hard. But I can't do a great job of coming up with this, I think. Money, kind of the same thing. Your goal is always going to be 100%. So I guess we should change the money output. Change money output. It's always going to be the goal. And it'll always be 100% now. Yeah, there's just no way. I think this will also simplify how this screen looks. So it'll just say time taken. Maybe it says money goal. Maybe it doesn't even say money. It could say objective. I don't know. I don't know about that. So time, money, difficulty, reputation earned, hover for breakdown. Yeah, so that breakdown is where we need to think of how all the rest of this is going to go. So medal earned, objective score. I think you'd want to know how these things are calculated. Maybe you could say 50. And then maybe like objective divided by 100. And then metal multiplier 2. One. You didn't earn a medal. I don't know about this difficulty multiplier. Technically, I guess the difficulty multiplier and the objective score will be static for everybody. In which case we could just say it's like a base score. I didn't think about this. The objective and the difficulty will be the same for everyone on a particular level. Like you can't earn more money than the objective, and you can't lower the difficulty on that particular level, or else you'd be on a different level. So maybe we just say it's like the base score. So what are you doing? It's your time that you do it in? That's it? Huh, yeah, it's your time that you do it in. Okay, that simplifies things. So reputation earned is just based on the time it took you. Which I guess we're just splitting into gold, bronze, silver, or none. We're not. Yeah, we're not doing anything else. Huh. Okay, so it's base score times medal multiplier. And the base score is going to be different for every difficulty level. And we could compute it. All right, so I have 2 problems here. 2 problems. One, I don't know what the best formula for this stuff is. And 2, I don't know how to render this to the player to make it clear. I think I just want to solve problem 2 for right now. Let's just assume that problem 1 is not that hard to solve. Still don't know how I want to do this. So at some point, you need to know your reputation earned. The player would care about rep earned and perk points they got from that rep. So we could say reputation earned 347, hover for breakdown, and say something like base score. I mean, I was going to do it this way, right? It would have been 50 times the difficulty multiplier. So 50 times 3.4 is what, 170? Is that right? Has to be right. Yeah. So base score, this is based on the difficulty you chose. Or maybe like, yeah, and then medal multiplier. 1, you didn't earn a medal. So reputation, 170 times 1. And then perk points plus 1. This would be 170 in this case. I don't know. I'm just so bad at this. I think this is too much information. I think it's too much to parse. But I guess if you're hovering for the breakdown, you actually do care about like how did this number 170 come to be? But it really just comes down to this medal multiplier thing, right? So maybe we could just say score 170 base times 1 medal multiplier. Hi, Goose. I mix it up. Normally I say, hey, Goose. This time I said hi. I'm a changing, thinking human being. I don't think I like this either. Unless I were to say 170 and then say what the The breakdown is all right. Yeah, I'm just gonna do something here. Let's just maybe do this. My entire day is now off balance. You'll never recover. Tune in tomorrow for Hey Goose. Base score, metal multiplier. I don't know. Let's just paste this in here. So rep earned equals 170, let's say. And then the text of this is going to be the breakdown, ul bullet equals /ul. And then we put this stuff in here. Nylox, thanks for the sub. Happy 5/6 of a year. All right, this is something. Let's see what it looks like. I think it's going to be bad. Yeah. This text will show when you hover over the parent node. Why did that break? Because we can't find the thing. Unable to cast rich text label to label. Okay, that's here. Yeah, this looks bad. Base score 170. It's based on the difficulty you chose. Metal multiplier 1. You didn't earn a medal. Reputation 170 times 1. We should put an X and not a star. And then perk points. Perk points, this is actually based on like an experience thing. So we can't just say you got +1. If you already had 30 experience, that would push you to 200, which would give you +2. Maybe just total perk points now. Perk points earned, total perk points. 3, something like that. If I'm going to do this, then I think what we need to do is something like this. Color equals UI constants dot color. And then same thing here. And then that's it. Maybe that'll look a little better. Whatever we do here, people are probably going to say, oh, this could be made clearer, or we could just come back to it later. So base score 170. This is based on the difficulty you chose. Metal multiplier 1. You didn't earn a medal. Reputation 170 times 1. Probably get rid of the double equals because people aren't programmers. Then perk points earned, total perk points. We could even say here, it's reputation divided by 100, but it's actually not. It's based on how much reputation you already had. Oh, maybe we could say is total reputation and then print that out. 750 or something, and then say perk points earned. Earn 1 every 100 rep. Total perk points. All right, well, yeah, that's I think that's at least a good starting point. God, this isn't game dev. This is some UI nightmare. All right, let's take a picture of this and then zoom in. Base score 170. This is based on the difficulty you chose. Metal multiplier 1. You didn't earn a medal. Reputation 170 times 1. Total reputation 750. Perk points earned. You earn 1 every 100 rep. So total perk points should maybe be like unspent perk points. Unspent perk points. Total perk points. I don't know, something like that. All right. So now all we need to do is fill in these values. So the first thing we need to do is calculate the reputation you earn. So now we got to solve problem number 1 here. What's the best formula for this? And I would need to know all the perks and everything. So this is probably going to get changed a bit. But we're going to take the base score, which is probably going to be the objective divided by 100 times difficulty divided by... Actually, we could do... How do I want this to work? I want level... Let's just think about this. I want level 1 to give you like, I don't know, 150 reputation, 250 reputation, maybe 350, something like that. So I want level 20 to give you maybe like, I'm just making up a thing here, 2,000 reputation. So I'd give you 20 perk points when you beat it. And then the cost of perks would probably have to be pretty high at that point. Yeah, it's probably pretty reasonable. So we're basically saying that over the course of 20 levels, you get like plus 1,700 perk points. So each difficulty level is basically giving you another 100. And then is this for bronze completion? Because I need to think of how that multiplier is going to work. Like level 1, bronze, silver, and gold. And then level 2, bronze, silver, and gold. I don't want people to have to farm the old levels necessarily. But let's say bronze gave you, I don't know, 250. Silver gave you... It's got to feel like you're getting quite a lot more, right? Maybe not. 400. I have no idea. And then what would these be? I guess if we said it's like plus 100 every level, then it'd be 350. It can't just be plus 75. It's got to be a multiplier. So what's 325? What's 75 divided by 250? 0.3. So we give you 30% more for each metal. So if this is 350, then this is going to be 350 times 1.3, and this would be 350 times 1.6. So 455 and 560. Okay, well, I guess that's an easy enough thing to do. So bronze is going to be 250 plus difficulty times 100. Or no, technically that's wrong. It's 150 plus difficulty times 100. And then silver is 1.3x and gold is 1.6x. But you might not get a metal at all. So I guess the no metal amount needs to be that. And then we need to scale up from there. Or maybe we scale down from there. It's like 0.8x of whatever that is. So if you didn't even get a metal, you'd get 200 reputation. Yeah. Okay, so then let's just change the formula so that the no metal is the base. So we need to do 0.08 times 150 plus difficulty times 80. So it'd be this, 120 plus difficulty times 80. Right? These should be the same numbers. And then bronze is going to be 1.25x. And then silver is going to be, God, I don't know. What is this? 1.625. And gold would be just 2x. Is that right? It can't be right. No, that can't be right. What am I talking about? What? Hold on a second. How does that make sense? 1.25 times 1.6. I guess the math works out. Why am I being a dummy then? Oh no, 37.5. Okay, yeah. I guess the math works out. Okay. So yeah, so this is our formulas that we would use. So here's the issue. Oh, maybe it's an issue, maybe it's not. But gold on level 1 is worth more than bronze on level 2. Yeah, I don't know. Leave it to the players to figure out if that's a problem. Actually, I guess at that point, we could just tell you what the score breakdowns are. We don't even need to tell you how this is calculated, right? We could just tell you how many reputation points you'd get for each medal. I made this like way harder than it needed to be, huh? All right, first of all, let's save these. These are pretty good formulas for this. Yeah. And then what if we changed what's in here? So instead of base score, medal multiplier, reputation, total reputation, all that stuff, we could just say this stuff. You could just say something like no medal would have gotten you 200. Bronze bonus. We could put it that way. Bronze bonus is like plus 50 rep. Silver bonus is plus what is it, 325 rep, and then gold bonus is plus 200 rep. So that's excuse me. Sorry about that. So here's option 1, which is show base and the bonuses. I don't think this is super clear. Option 2 is just show totals for everything. So no medal, bronze, medal. We didn't even need to write this. Or it could say like medal earned, none. So plus 200, plus 3, 250, plus 325, and plus 400. And then we just highlight the one you got. You got silver, so you got 325 rep. Yeah, this seems pretty straightforward to me. Because now you don't need to worry about the calculation, and we could always change it. We could even make it not be based on a calculation. It could just be some hard-coded value, like silver on this level gives you 317, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, if there's no rhyme or reason to it, we might as well just use a formula. But yeah, I think this is pretty decent. So then this would change. So instead of base score, medal multiplier, we tell you the breakdown and then how much you actually got. Alternatively, we could just say like, I guess that's the other option. Option 3, show a simple formula. So it could say something like base rep plus 200, medal multiplier 1.5. We needed, I think this is, I like this. I like this. Let's just do that. Okay. We are making some progress. So reputation earned, we need to calculate this based on the time it took you. And the time it took you is, I guess, here. At some point, we're going to need to know what medal you got. Time taken is num minutes, time taken string, time elapsed, and then bronze target time. So we need like which medal did you get? I guess let's just make a public enumeration medal ID. Hey, Fullbox, how's it going? I was tuned in for a little bit today, and I saw you got, what, 3 weeks left until launch, is it? We're proud to jump farm on High Fool Box. Yeah, welcome in everybody. When's this game out? We just pushed it by another quarter. Steam page release. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I'm excited. Is there a specific date I can write to check? Working on the trailer now. Actually, you know what? I'll just write in 3 weeks. Add to calendar. Check for Fool Boxes game on Steam in 3 weeks. September 29th. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, welcome in everyone. We have been working on Skeleseller for like a year and a half now, and I've been working on challenge mode. So to give a brief intro to this game, the main mode, you are in a very laid back way running a town. So you'll hire adventurers. Let's hire the rogue here. You'll send them into battles. Let's send a rogue and mage over to the forest. I'll make this bigger. They fight automatically for you. When they win the fight, they will earn items that you can sell in your town. So here we got 3 potions. We can see our little skeleton moving a potion over to the shop. We can also move potions over to the shop. And then customers will come and buy your stuff, and you can use that to upgrade your town, the money that you get. So this is the basic game loop. You'll, go repeat battles. You'll eventually work your way through this map that you have here and fight bosses and stuff and hire new adventurers and level them up and blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, that's the base mode. And like I said, that's very laid back. There's no way to lose. You cannot lose. You will eventually accomplish all of the goals in the game by pretty much just sitting around if you wanted to, and you could speed this up. Challenge mode is what I've been working on to add replayability. And originally, this was much harder than it's going to be. So hence the challenge in the name. But I don't think people really want difficulty out of this game. They got to this mode and they were like, ooh, why is this so difficult? So we are making this much more casual, and we're adding in these meta perks that you can start a run with. And we're allowing you to do like a Slay the Spire Ascension system, so that on any particular level, you'll stack all the difficulty modifiers you had. And the difference in this mode is rather than directly buying a particular building or an adventurer, you're presented with a roguelike set of choices here. So there's a set of 3 that we have. And actually, we don't have any of the buildings for these. So maybe we pick this one knowing that it's a powerful perk, and then we go try to build the building for it, and we're not offered it. So we get the farm instead, and then we start, messing around with this. Hey, Wonky Circle. I'll be pushing the release button on stream. Yeah, nice. I'll have to check that out. I'll write a calendar reminder. Is this Mr. D-Boy's game? I think the games are pretty similar in terms of aesthetics. I'm not really sure what Mr. D-Boy's focus is with the game. Like, I don't know if it's to have a sort of a sandbox game or like challenges at some point or what. Thanks for the sub, Wonky Circle. Yeah, so anyway, this is what we're working on. And what I'm working on in particular, hey, Funky Monkey, yeah, the UI looks a lot better with this stuff and just yeah, I don't know. It's all looking nice. Not this anymore. This is now the old style UI. But everything else is pretty decent. What I'm trying to work on now is this specific thing, this tooltip. Oh, thank you too, Funky Monkey. Happy 2 years. I was trying to figure out how can we represent how much you earned, and like this is way too complicated. So I'm going to change this right now. So none will be 0. Bronze will be 1. It should know how to fill in the other ones. Yeah, there we go. All right, so public, metal ID, metal earned. All right, cumulative money earned. This is not how this works. This is gold objective. Does that even exist? It does, but there's gold target time. That's what I want. So time taken. It's not even called time taken. It's called time elapsed. So the time elapsed is less than, we could say or equal to, I guess we might as well be nice and give you 1 extra second, right? If time elapsed is less than or equal to gold target time, then you get the gold medal. Else, I want to just fill it in for me because this is not very difficult code. I mean, we could do this with a switch case if we wanted to. Yeah, this is looking good. Now let's do it with a switch. Return time elapsed switch less than or equal to gold target time. Why is this constant value type double as expected? I don't know how this works. There's some way to type this out. I never remember what it is. A lot of people use curly brackets in Godot. Dying race. This is C sharp. You can't use C sharp and not have curly brackets or curly braces. It's literally impossible. you can't write any program without curly braces. Well, maybe the blank program, yeah, a blank source file counts as a program in C sharp. I'm not actually sure about that. Just saying it's a rare site. Are you saying it's rare to see C sharp with Godot? I don't know how to write this. C sharp, switch, expression, pattern. Dexterity. I also want web build. Yeah. I don't think I want the web build for me. Also, the other thing, I think it's good for a demo. And I think my demo could have benefited from it probably, but Steam doesn't let you have that. So you'd have to publish it on something like itch or your own website, and then you're on your own for metrics pretty much. And same thing, like I have an itch page for Skeleseller, and it's not doing poorly. It's like we're getting tens of views every day and a bunch of downloads on some of these days, like 10, 6, whatever. But then these don't turn into wish lists on Steam, and I feel like wish lists on Steam are more valuable. And I feel kind of bad saying that because I'm friends with the creator of itch. But it's all about where our eyeballs. How's it going? It's going pretty well. Yeah. Hey, Phil. Hey, Loggerhead. Plus, also, they have the new minimum startup file mode, which doesn't require any classes. I see. Yeah. Yeah. They're working on the web exporter. It's probably going to be a bunch of time before that's done. How do you know they don't turn to wish list? Do you make a UTM link? No, I don't. I'm just saying that if you were on Steam and you played the demo and you liked it, you would click the wish list button because you're already on Steam. If you're on itch and you play a demo and you like it, you'll probably click the whatever the itch equivalent is, like heart this game or follow this game or something. But how many people are going to go from there to Steam? It's another step, and it's not a step many people will want to do. Hey, Kevin. Okay, so pattern 1. You have to actually type it out. Wait a second, what am I missing here? Can you type less thans? You can do. Whoa. You can do this. Wait a second, and why is this not working? A constant value of type double is expected. Why does it have to be constant? Okay, so if I just wrote like 5.0, does not handle all possible values. Yeah, weird. Why does it have to be constant? Huh. I think if you charge the same on Steam and itch, it would be fine to sell on either, regardless of where people prefer to get it. I think in general that's true, but I think where this gets complicated a little bit is by the Steam review system. You can't have an overwhelmingly positive aggregate rating unless you have more than, I think, 95% positive ratings and more than 500 ratings. So your breakdown needs to be very positive, but then you just need a certain volume of them too. So if you were to concentrate all of your sales onto Steam and you know that they're going to be good, I think you'll do better than if you split all of your sales onto like 10 different platforms, because then your Steam acceleration will probably die down. You made a personal web page for your documents. It's a clever idea. Oh, the notes page? Yeah, I try to share whatever notes I take on stream at least. So yeah, I've taken a lot of them. Can also use a switch statement instead of making it more difficult if you put all the metal. Well, I think you can use a switch statement like this. Like if I just had constants for these things, you can just say like when this is less than 5.0, do this, and when it's less than 8.0, do the silver one, and otherwise return none or bronze or something like that. Like this is a valid switch statement, and it's the most condensed you can have it. I don't know why you can't use a variable here. Is there an advantage to using it over a single line of if statements and returning straight away? Just succinctness. I think this is a pretty clear set of lines of code here, right? And you don't need curly braces for all of these. Problem is you apparently just can't do that. Constant values expected. I wonder if that's a thing though. Switch expression with variables instead of constants. Type constants. The one with links to everything for your personal use. I probably have a website like that. I'm not totally sure what you're talking about. Oh, you could pass in both things. Oh, interesting. Well, I'd have to pass in all the times if I'm going to do that. No, they do have this here. Oh, you need a when clause. Oh my God. Okay, I have not done this sort of thing before. Switch is like super overloaded in C sharp. So underscore when time elapsed. Yeah, that's a little weird. But apparently this is fine. I don't know. This looks obtuse to me. What is this switch when? I want to look into this some more. Switch when? Keyword when is used to specify a condition in a case label, a switch statement or expression, provides fine-grained control over which switch section will be executed based on a condition. Starting in C sharp, it can be used in a switch statement. This post talks a lot about this feature. I think this is silly. Try float when time. Such a confusing syntax. Yeah, I think it's probably just easier to go with the if statement, even though it spans so many more lines. I do want to test this out though. So let's go into C sharp playground. And let's paste this in here. And just do this and say double time elapsed equals, let's say 5. Get rid of this. Get rid of, I guess, all of these. So I want to set these to, let's say, 10, 15, and 20. And return, I guess, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just to know which one of these I'm in. And then we're gonna say int foo equals that. And then console.log that thing. So this is 5, which is less than this, so it should print 1. Compilation error. Oh, because I'm on the wrong .NET version. Okay, so it prints 1, and then if we have this set to, let's say 12, it should print 2, and 17, it should print 3, and 25 should print 4. So yeah, this is working. So fine, let's keep it, I guess. You can do single line ifs. Yeah, but our style guide isn't set up for that. It's neither here nor there. But I think single line ifs and statements that allow for blocks is not generally a good idea. It's just me who hates the whole underscore convention for class members. I don't do it. I don't understand the hate for it, but it is just a convention. So yeah, you could just skip it if you want to skip it. Okay, so this is looking good. Now we want to figure out how much reputation you get for each of these. And I wrote the formula out for this. So we're going to code that. So no metal is going to be this formula. And this is only really needed for, do we have some like challenge mode functions? We have the configuration. I guess the configuration alone can tell us what the base score is. I could just get all of these, right? Public, what is it? Long, rep earned by metal. We can make this a dictionary if I want to. But actually, when you do these new things for yourself, like on Swish, you ever go back and get confused on what it's doing because you're not used to doing it that way? This in particular, I think, is very understandable. The syntax is what's difficult about this. But if you're reading through this and you're like, what metal do I earn? It's pretty obvious that, oh, when the metal is this amount, we get the gold medal. When your time is this amount, get the silver one. When the time is this amount, get the bronze one. So I don't think this is really difficult to understand. Sometimes, if you ever write code that's difficult to read later, I think that's a problem because that's a maintainability issue. All right, so rep earned by metal. This is going to be, I guess how do we want to use this? We want to render all of these. And I don't want to have to compute this each time. So I guess let's just say like the base rep earned. This is by having no metal. And this is going to be 120 plus difficulty times difficulty level times 80. So that's a base rep earned. And then we have multipliers. The multipliers are just constants though. So I could just make, I don't want to do this. Public long get rep earned for metal. Yeah. No suggestions. Right, because I made it inside of another class. Base rep earned. Wow, how did it get those values? Oh, because it's typed in a buffer over here. I was like, how did it intuit these from the Google Doc? I didn't realize I still had a buffer open with them. Yeah, this works. This will probably result in some weird rounding errors. I think we have a function somewhere that rounds to the nearest 5. We might want to do that. Because well, actually, do we care? I don't think we care. I think it's fine. I think this looks good, very readable. Yeah, readability is definitely one of the big goals here. I think that code should essentially be self-documenting, and part of the way you get it to be self-documenting is by just making it clear to understand. So like functions, if you look at them and you're like, what is going on here? It probably means you should be refactoring something. Okay, so I want to print this out. Where did it go? Where did it go? This. I want to print that. So we got to go find the end screen, and not this one. We got to find the file for it here. And I just gotta replace this stuff. Yeah, the first 3 lines. So base score, metal multiplier, and reputation. So this is going to be should I make another list? Does it even support lists inside lists? I actually don't know the answer to that. Rich text label. Okay, so here's our label. I'm going to make this fit content, and we're going to type list number 1. So list 1. Test 2, and then another list inside of here. Oh, it does. Okay. Well, then we can do that. Stream web page seems easy to use. Standard file viewer to keep everything in one place. What's the link itself, though? Are you talking about adamlearns.com? Or do you mean like twitch.tv/adamlearnslive? I'm just curious because I haven't heard people say this before about things that weren't the notes, I guess. Oh my God, on my own computer. I thought you meant something on the internet. You're talking about this. Oh, okay. Yes, this is something that I made a long time ago called Homepagerizer. So this is publicly available if you want to get access to this yourself. It's really, really simple. You can just add a link to something. So let's say you want to add in Twitch here. And whoops, let's type this out correctly. There we go. And then we can make a keyboard shortcut for like this. And there's my webpage now. So I could save this and I'll have a page that when I press T is going to go to my Twitch page or something. And I can add more links here and you can make new rows and move things around. So yeah, if you want to get this too, feel free. It's open source. It is super simple to make. And obviously, as you can see, very convenient. Because when I do go to a new page, like let's say I'm on whatever, any random page. In fact, let's say I'm in VS Code. I press Alt-1 to switch to Chrome. And then I have a new tab key on my keyboard. And then, which normally would just be Command-T. And then I have a home key on my keyboard, which would normally be Shift-Command-H, I think, or something like that. And then I just press the key for the link. So from here, I would do something like this. Go to Chrome, new tab, go to the home page, and then press G for my design document. And I'm at the design document from basically anywhere on my computer, which is nice. I do that pretty frequently. Like if I want to open up something in Skeleseller, if I want to open up the repo itself and then go find a file here, I could do this and type like town.cs and just be somewhere super fast. And then, yeah, my keyboard itself is set up so that the layers are conducive to doing this sort of thing since I do this all the time. Okay, so metal earned. This is going to say none plus. I mean, I guess we could just type the whole thing out. But these are actually going to be parameterized here. So it's $1 or it's a curly brace. And then we're going to do, where did we put that code? Challenge mode configuration, get rep earned for metal. Challenge mode configuration, get. Oh, wait, this is in the title screen, isn't it? Get rep earned for metal, metal ID dot. Okay, now where's that come from? Great. All right, this is a little bit ugly. I'll change some of the stuff around, but how's that looking? Base rep, yeah, that's probably fine. So now this base score, metal multiplier, reputation. So we know which one you earned. So we're gonna bold that line, I guess. We could also highlight it potentially. But what if I just do bold for now? And then write your total rep and all that other stuff. All right, let's take a look at this. Never understand how your brain works. I mean, this stuff, other than the keyboard thing, like, okay, yeah, there's a custom keyboard involved. But for the rest of this, it's like if you were to go download this homepage and try it out or like make your own, you'd add whatever links make sense to you. And you might not even use keyboard shortcuts. You might just click new tab and then be like, I want to go to YouTube Studio. So you click that. Or I want to go to Steam or something. And just having these be positional, I think is pretty nice. Like I have a bookmarks bar. Everyone can use this in the browser already. And these are somewhat positional, but then a lot of times you'll be like, okay, now I got to go find in which folder this thing is. It's like by the time you've made a bunch of folders and bookmarks, you probably have too many things. So probably they should all just be visible like this because you're not going to 400 different links every day. You're going to maybe like 5 or 10. And also this kind of helps you remember certain things you might want to do. Like maybe once a month you go to your bank account or something. So you can put like banking info here and it'll remind you to check it or something like that. That's pretty minor. That doesn't really matter too much. All right, so now here's what we got. So metal earned, we highlight the one that you actually got. So in this case, bronze. And then we say your total reputation. Maybe we don't even have this stuff. Yeah, maybe this should just be a sentence. It says something like you earn 1 perk point every reputation per level. Reputation. You earned BB code functions dot format number delta perk points. And what, this needs to be a string? Too stern. Does not exist. Oh, is that the problem? Does format number taking the string? It does, yeah. And then just delete the rest of these, I guess. Yeah. So now delta perk points should be here somewhere. This is not how this would work, though. We need to get how many you currently have. I don't even know where that is. Title screen dot challenge mode progress dot perk points. This is how many you had. Old perk points. And then we need to figure out how much rep you should get. So title screen, challenge mode progress, reputation. Total rep is going to be equal to that. And then your actual reputation should also go up. And then based on your total reputation, how do we do this? You might have already had some out. So we need to figure out how much you had beyond 100 here. Rep, or like rep remainder. I don't know, something like that. So we get your... Why are these two different numbers? What is this used for? Huh, yeah. I don't really know what this is for, I guess. You switch between docs, Jira, and programs. Yeah, I hope it helps, Wolf Rose. Do the lights actually control your room lights? Yeah, they do. I think hang on one sec. I have the switch turned off for right now, but there. Okay, I just turned them on. You probably won't see this too well unless I turn off a light on here. Let me turn off the studio lights. Okay, so now it's just room lights. Well, no, wait, there's this one too. Okay, so now it's just room lights. If I click off, you see it gets darker in here. And if I click bright, it's going to mess up the green screen, of course. It's not meant for that. And then streaming, which I don't use that mode anymore. Actually, this isn't too bad. I guess if I just didn't want all these other lights on, but I think I look better with the studio lights on. Hey, Chronic. All right, let's turn that back off. By the way, this is a local IP address, or the DNS resolves the local IP, so you can't go to this URL and also do this. You need to be on my network. I can't organize my work that much. I feel like having my stuff written down too much makes it too concrete. Most of the time when I write things, I never look at it again. Feels like a bit of a waste. I think there are a couple components. One is it helps reinforce things as you're learning them, or as you're even kind of absorbing information. So writing down will probably help that correlation in your memory. And then two is if you happen to need it later, or if someone else happens to need it later, then you can share it with them or yourself. Did you in the past ever have issues with finding nodes, or when you're creating nodes and when trying to find nodes in the node hierarchy? I've had issues with nodes as well as using signals. I think this is one of those cases where it's like, if you ask me, hey, have you ever like seen a car go 72 miles per hour on a Wednesday? It's like, probably, but I can't think of a specific scenario right now. So do I have problems finding nodes sometimes? Maybe. I need to probably be in that like problem scenario to recall. Going anyway? Did I say something? I have issues often. Yeah. I don't think I'm having them often, but I'm not totally sure what your issues are with not being able to find them. Is it like you made a note a while ago and you forgot where it is? Because typically in that case, what I would do is I'd just be like, what is a unique string that'll help me find this? So like this, eventually this will unlock. So then I'll go into VS Code, I'll type eventually this will, and there it is. There's one place in the code. So now I'm like, oh, it's challenge mode end screen. And I'll go into Godot and be like, let's load up challenge mode end screen. And then I'll find wherever that thing is just by clicking it. So it's like, oh, that's caveat label. Well, I could have told it from here. It says caveat label right there. So I don't know if that's the kind of thing you're talking about, but yeah, I think searching for a specific bit of the UI will typically help for that. Oh yeah, so I was trying to figure out, what is reputation even used for? Like, where do we, I think we only show it here. Yeah, reputation 0 out of 100. So this is your, this is like your experience bar. Hey Tobias, I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited to work on some of this stuff today. And I'm making very slow progress because I'm working on UI. All right, so do you care about this as a player? I'm not actually certain here. So reputation is basically experience points. And you always need 100 to get a perk point. But you're always given more than 100 at a time. So I'm not certain it's all that interesting to know how much of this you have. Like every once in a while, by having an extra like 20, now when you get 80, 80 plus 20 is going to break you beyond the next threshold for a perk point. So it's like, okay, yeah, the extra 20 you had mattered, but a lot of times it doesn't really matter. But I think I like this idea more than, like, how many times have you played a game and there's some experience bar and it fills up to almost full, but not exactly full. And in order to fill it now, you need to spend like 30 minutes doing another run. It's like, that's a bad feeling. So I'd rather give you a lot of points and then just require more of these points, I guess. You can still get to the point. Well, I guess there's more stuff to get in this game. It was fun. We couldn't get joining via Steam to work, so we played on a public server and kept getting wrecked by strangers. Oh, man. Well, cool. I'm glad you all enjoyed. I hope all the rest of the games are fun, too. I think I was doing things a bit weird, trying to keep a main scene loaded in Godot, and then world scene or other scenes would load and change, so things wouldn't always be loaded, but I think that was a bad way to do things. I don't think that's a bad way to do things. I think that's a good way to do things. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. All right, so reputation is just your reputation up to 100. This number should always be less than game constants dot reputation per level. And we just need, why is that not working? Where's game constants? Game source constants. There we go. Now I can F12 on that. Yep. So it's basically your remainder reputation. What does that say? Name can be simplified. Oh, just delete source. I.e., it is your remainder reputation that hasn't converted into a perk point yet. It's a cool keyboard. Thanks. That's a corn keyboard. Okay, so this is what we were doing. Rep remainder here is this. We already knew what your reputation remainder was because it was that right there. So we're going to do this plus the rep earned. And this is going to be your like rep used to calculate perk points. And then the delta perk points is just going to be this divided by 100. And that should be along, and this should be along. Yeah, so this is going to be integer division, which means that any extra that you had is going to go back into your reputation calculation. Does it know what I want to do here? I guess it's rep used to calculate perk points, percent that. And then the delta perk points is fine. And we need to add that to your perk points here. Title screen dot challenge mode progress perk points. And I'll just write a to do encapsulate all of this stuff into challenge mode progress because this is a mess. But I'll do that before I commit. I just still want to get, okay, so rep earned is the last thing I need to do. And rep earned is going to be equal to this based on which medal you got. So we need to figure out which medal you got. Medal earned. And the medal earned is going to be a medal ID. Excuse me. Okay, I think we're good with this. Yeah, I think we're good with this. Okay, so next we need to know which one of these things to bold. And that's not going to be fun, is it? No. Ideally, what we'd want is to be able to add these things dynamically and then figure out which medal we're adding it for. But in order to do that, we need localized medal names. I don't want to do that. Well, I guess we could just not localize it at first. I guess I'm not localizing the rest of this stuff either. Yeah. So let's go get the medals earned bit. Medals earned text. Okay, so it's going to look like this, but the way we're going to do this is we're going to go through each metal ID. Oh, nice. Give values, type of metal ID, sure. So then we need to get the name of it. Nah, that's pretty good. Rep for metal, yeah. And this all needs to be inside of this. And then we need to end it with a /ul. And then we need to bold the one that you got. So if, or like bool, got this metal equals metal earned equals metal ID. All right, how do I want to do this? Got this metal. We could do metals earned text plus equals bold. I mean, this is one way we could do this. I think this is a bad way of doing it. So I think the right way we should do this is this, just string metal earned text is equal to that. And then if you got this, then metal earned text equals. That way there's only one if statement for this. And then we just add this thing here. Metal earned text. Okay. And then what else do we have here? You earn 1 per point every whatever. You earned that. Yeah, that should already be good. Let's try it out. So the metal that we earn, because I'm just right clicking and cheating, is going to be gold every time, which is a 2x multiplier. Does that work? No, everything's bold. Why is everything bold? Oh, that should have been there. Yeah, there's a mistake here now. So what is this doing? This is me being stupid. I probably shouldn't have named it metals earned and metal earned. Okay, that's good except for the final new line. That final new line shouldn't be there. I guess we'll just put a new line beforehand. I don't think that's going to cause a problem because of how BB code works. Let's see. Yeah, nice. That looks pretty good. All right, so here's what we have now. Metal earned. You got gold, so it's plus 400 rep. You earn 1 perk point every 400, or sorry, you earn 1 perk point every 100 reputation. You earn 4. Yeah. Perk points. All right. Yeah, I think we're good on that front. So formulas are done. Render it like this. We kind of got close to that at least. Show the metal calculation. You should know which metal you got and why. That's because we're going to change the time output. If you got at least bronze, it should probably say the next difficulty level is unlocked. Yeah, we should do that somewhere. But I should probably check this stuff in on its own, which means I got to clean all this up because I coded this very poorly. Okay, that's all good. So that file is fine. This is where things start to get a little weird. Challenge mode configuration references challenge mode objective details. Challenge mode objective details. To get which metal earned you would have gotten. I don't think metal ID should be here. I think it should be in its own file. So let's go save this in challenge mode metal ID. Namespace game source UI challenge mode. All right, then that's going to change all of these metal IDs to be something that now needs to be imported. and it's going to change. What happened there? Did happen there. Just shouldn't even be needed. Yeah. Where's the next problem? This. That's much better. Rep earned for metal. Metal ID. This should be fine. This doesn't know about the new thing though. Cool. Does that build? So this did almost nothing. This is just me refactoring out a type, so I don't need to scope to it through a class. Yeah. Everything looks pretty much the same. Do you have a video explaining why you went for C? You mean C sharp? I don't have a video. I just have this short command. I'm happy to answer any other questions there, but in general, it was just a preference thing. Like, I don't think it boils down to anything that I should try to convince other people to use C sharp instead of GDScript. In fact, I think for new developers to Godot, you should be using GDScript. And I think GDScript has gotten better over the years. Like, when I first tried it, it was 2020, and I was not very impressed. It felt like I would have described it as different Python. And now that it's 2025, it's still different Python. But it's got better typing, and I mean, I haven't really used too much of it, but better typing and probably some better features. I'm not super up to date on the features because I've been using C sharp for this project. I think I even used it for the prototype. I don't remember. No, I didn't. I used GDScript for that. So yeah, the last time I used GDScript was actually last year. But even then, they didn't have type dictionaries, and now they do. So it's like they were still improving it as I was using it. All right, so target times. I think splitting these by metals isn't the best. All right, well, let's look through the rest of the stuff that we have. Let's get rep earned for metal. This is based on what? Base rep earned. 120 plus difficulty level. So we do need the difficulty level here. I mean, this could just be a static function somewhere, just because it happens to reference a difficulty level in here. But still, I'd say this is probably fine. Okay, so what about this? That's just a comment. So yeah, that's fine. This is garbage code, so we're gonna have to fix that up. But the rest of this, I think, is fine. Challenge mode objective details. An opening brace should not be followed by a blank line. I didn't realize I had a blank line. Time elapsed. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think all this is reasonable except for this file right here. And this is a mess. So we should probably just say like grant reputation somewhere. Grant reputation. Or like grant, yeah, just grant reputation. All right, so let's copy all of this out of here and put this here. Private void grant rep. All right, some of this is not going to exist anymore because we'd only gotten it here. So this needs to be passed in with this, which means we take in these things here. Good. And then prefer the overload. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, next up, there's a lot of stuff taking place on challenge mode progress that I don't think should be there. Like, we figure out the reputation and we base this on a configuration, get rep earned from metal. And what we need out of this are a few different little details here. Right, what do we use? We use rep earned and delta perk points. Let's call this metal line. Got this metal. We're only doing this once, so we can delete that. Rep for metal, metal earned. Anything else? No, that's pretty much it. Just rep earned and delta perk points. So we could return that from a function. So we could do something like that. Rep earned delta perk points. And what would calculate this for us? Probably challenge mode progress. Calculate reputation. And take in this case, which medal you earned. All right, so I think that's probably good. And then all of this code can go into there. Whoops, I deleted a semicolon. This will make the code look a lot cleaner. Okay. So now instead of this whole challenge mode configuration, we can delete, well, I guess we can't delete that. Game constants. This is challenge mode progress, which is now this thing. And this can be deleted. So we do get rep earned for medal, and that's the only place medal earned is used. Yeah, so we just pass in the reputation that you earned for that particular medal. This should just be like modify reputation and take in a long rep earned and pass that in to whatever calls that. Where'd that go? Where did that go? Here. Except for, yeah. Oh, if we're calculating it, then I guess all we need is the delta perk points that you would get. So this will just return a long. And return that. Okay. Okay. So let's read through this code and see if this makes any sense. So figure out what medal you earned, get how much reputation that would give you, then modify your reputation and figure out how many delta perk points you got, and then just output it all. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. Now, how does modify reputation look? Figure out how much new rep you would get. So let's say you got 130 rep and you already had 80. So it's going to be 210. 210 divided by 100 is going to be 2. And then you're going to be left over with 10 points. You're going to add the total rep. You're going to add your delta perk points. Yeah, nice. Okay, I think this should all work. In fact, I think we can even kind of test this end to end. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cheat our way through a couple runs, so it should be practically instantaneous. And we should be getting some perk points for that. So here we got 4 perk points. So if we go to the title screen, we should see 4. Yep. And we shouldn't be able to afford anything yet. So now I'm going to go to a level 3 run, and we're going to cheat our way through this one, which should give us now more than 4. Yeah. So this gives us 720 reputation. So now we should have 11 perk points and 20 reputation. So there's 11 perk points, and there's our 20 reputation. Now we can afford this. And when I click refund, we should get 11 points. Yeah, nice. All right. That's looking pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Yeah, cool. It's coming together. Okay, so I'm pretty sure all the code is looking fine now, except for this. Yeah, nice. Nice indeed. Whew. All right, and any weird problems with this stuff? No. All right, so what do we do here? Add reputation and perk points on winning. Oh yeah, and then I just need to look at the UI one more time. We have no way of getting a bronze medal. Yeah, I would have to, well, I mean, we have a way. It would just take 45 minutes. I'm not going to wait that long. So let's set this to, I don't know what number, 35 times 60 plus 1. I don't know what the objective even is, so I just made up a number here. I probably should have looked at it. $36 minutes is what I meant to do. Okay, well, we can just speed up time. There, that'll get us to 36 minutes a lot faster. And then that'll put us in silver medal territory. So now if we win, we should get the silver medal. It says none, and it's also messed up. Wait, first let's take a picture of this. And then continue playing. Silver medal was, yeah, 41 minutes. Huh. What did I mess up? Okay, first of all, let's set this at 36 when I test this again. Next, let's go figure out where that rep thing is calculated here. Medal earned. Why is there... Is that how this would always have looked? So if I do UL and then test 1. No, that's correct. Huh, I wonder what's going on there. Let's put a breakpoint there. And also it's not highlighting the right one. Yeah, let's just put a breakpoint there. Should be easy to figure out. Because all I need to do is just immediately win this. So medal earned should be silver, right? It's none. Okay, that's surprising. Silver target time, what is that? 41. Oh, whoops. This is supposed to be times 60. Because time elapsed is some like super large number. All right, so this is actually minutes elapsed, right? And what is this? This is a double, and this is an int. Yeah, so int minutes elapsed equals time elapsed divided by 60. Oh God, how's that gonna work? Hang on a second. This is wrong, isn't it? We need to round up. Right? Yeah, we need to round up. And then we change all of these. Now the weird thing is, oh, I guess because of the new line, I'm bolding on the previous line. Yeah, I see what's going on. So it's when you get no medal that's going to happen. Otherwise, it's always going to look correct. Okay, clever. clever. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that highlighted silver. All right, and then the none problem that we have, I'm glad I accidentally tested that. Where's the elapsed time thing that I do? Nope, I saw it there. Oh, come on. Is it not called elapsed time? Time elapsed. Oh, that's what it was. Time elapsed. Why can't I find this? All right, so we just set it to 336, for example. Now we're going to see that bug. And I don't know why I'm doing this because I already know what the bug is and I'm pretty sure I know how to fix it. Yeah. So this problem is happening because the bolding is happening before the new line. So we need the new line to show up here inside of this. Wait, no, this is some like weird thing that happens, right? I think that'll do it. Hey, Coldfire. Just wishlisted your game on Steam if it can help. Can't wait to see that 1.0 pop. Yeah, it does help, and thank you. If you want to be a playtester, by the way, you feel free to join. I am currently working on challenge mode, and I'll say this. We're probably like maybe 1 week away from playtesting this new version. And I don't want people joining the playtest until then. So you can indicate interest, and then I'll just add people in like a week when it's ready. So I'm building up a list of people. It's probably like 5 people are on hold right now while I'm building this thing out. But yeah, I'm hoping we can make some pretty big strides this week. No, this is still happening. Why is this still happening? Huh, interesting. I guess I don't understand what I'm doing wrong then. Oh yeah. And don't feel any pressure, by the way. I don't want to put you on the spot. the thing I want people to test when the playtest does open is just challenge mode and just find out, like, is this fun? Is it a cool thing to play? How am I messing this up? This is apparently not valid. How do we make this? Wait, so we want the new line before this then? Oh, what am I doing? Right. I messed that up. So no matter what, we're putting a new line before it. So let's just do that here. /n metal line. And then delete this. Delete this entire thing. And delete this. Okay. Hey, DJ. Yeah, this took me a little bit of time. I think we're good now. Yep. Metal earned, none, plus 200 rep. You earn 1 perk point every 100 reputation. You earn 2 perk points. All right, so then we go to the title screen. We have 2 perk points and 0 rep. Yeah. So now if I go find that time elapsed and whoops, 336. If I set this to 36, we'll get the silver medal, which gets us like 325 perk points or something. I just want to make sure I didn't break anything else. Yeah, 325. So we got 3 perk points and we should have 25 rep. Yep. Okay, so then this is going to go back to 0. And now when we run, we'll get the gold medal, which is worth 400, which gives us 4 perk points. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, looking good. Looking good. What caused me to even go test that? Oh, I want to see if it was bolding the right line. And we did find 2 bugs there, so that's pretty good. Okay, cool. Add reputation and perk points on winning. The end screen now shows you why you got the reputation that you did. I still think this can be simplified and or juiced up, but I don't care for right now. I want to test the overall gameplay. Juice can come later. So time value should have a tooltip with the metal breakdowns. Yeah, this is just gonna be the text that we made in the in challenge mode details. Challenge mode details. Where did we put that information? Yeah, here it is. Gold target time, silver, bronze. How does this look? There's a lot of bold going on here. Yeah, that target time section, this. I think I want that to show up in here when you hover over time. So it'll say like 32 minutes, and then you'll hover over it and it'll show you what the times were for each medal. But we want to bold the one that you got. Which means we want to make this string a different way. Maybe we always want to bold the one that you're about to get. Right, like even in here, it says target time. Maybe it should bold what you're on track to get. So gold medal would be bolded. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I want something that's going to generate those lines. Objective details. The end screen is going to need it. I guess let's start at the beginning here. Let's go to the end screen and let's add in a tooltip on the time. So add tooltip on parent, call this time tooltip, and say set via code, which I probably should have done with the other one too, huh? All right, so now there's a time tooltip in the end screen. We have the reputation tooltip, so let's also get the time tooltip. And set that. Okay, so the time tooltip is gonna have a breakdown from the objective details, I suppose. Did you do all the art yourself or hire someone? I did none of the art myself. Quickie Joe did the majority of it at this point. Yeah, I did code, game design, and music. But I am not artistically gifted. So no one wants to see art that I have to make. That's why we have the Atom Art emote. That's what I can draw. You need a game full of those, I'm the guy for the job. Can pump those things out super fast. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is getting a, like, what is this? What is this even based on? We pass in a current time and we get the metal breakdown with which one should be bolded. The metal breakdowns are done from the configuration. So the configuration should probably just be the thing to do this, right? Yeah, I think so. So public string get time, get target time breakdown BB code. And what are we going to pass in? The elapsed time. And what is elapsed time? It's a double. Where is yeah, in here. Time elapsed, double, yeah. Okay, double time elapsed. Okay, I don't think this should be too hard to do. So we're going to copy paste this. Then we're going to delete half of it. Okay, so this whole format number, I don't even think I want. Yeah, I don't think I want that. I want to format the whole thing eventually. So let's delete those. Okay, so those are the target times. Now from your time elapsed, we can figure out what metal you should get. Where is that? Where is that indeed? Huh, isn't there like a metal earned? There's get rep for metal earned. Metal earned right there. Got it, metal earned. Okay, so this is based on a time elapsed. We need to base it on, we need this to be somewhere else. Probably here. Get metal earned, double time elapsed. All right, delete that. Math.ceiling sounds good. Time elapsed, put that there. Cool. So now that function can call this one. So metal earned is just going to return challenge mode configuration. Wait a second. This can be static. Yeah. Means it should go up here somewhere probably. Heck if I know where. Just let it yell at us. Yeah, it's not going to yell at us until we fix this. I don't even want any of this stuff. All right, remove unused parameter time elapsed. That's fine. I don't care about that right now. This is apparently the right spot. So get metal earned is what we want to do with this. And we want to base it on time elapsed. Delete all that stuff. I mean, at that point, can't this just look like this? Yes, it can. Okay, so now in here, we need to get which medal you actually got. Medal ID, medal like on track to earn. Yeah, something like that. So now we get the target times, and we want to just spew them out with new lines here. But we want to figure out which one you earned. And that's where I should parameterize these things based on medals. Would you ever go back to Botland? I really enjoyed it. Feel like a less scripting centric version could do well these days. I don't think I will. And I think the way that Botland was surfaced, like I would have needed to make a lot of different decisions for it to catch on. A less scripting centric version would probably just mean an auto battler at that point. Because I haven't played, at least I don't think I've played the Clash games, but like, isn't Clash Royale kind of just Botland without scripting? Don't you put down units or something and they just like automatically go do stuff that they should do? I think that's basically what Botland would be if you didn't have scripting. And I think this game has already probably been done to death. I assume. I haven't even played Clash Royale, let alone clones of it, but I'm assuming Clash Royale is like super popular and therefore there are clones of it. So yeah, I think the scripting element is what made it unique. And I think it also made it tedious. Whenever you have scripting exposed in a game, I think you need very, very clear feedback on what's happening, if not just straight up debugging, because people won't have the right logic at some point. If they don't know how to fix it, then they're just going to get frustrated. All right, so yeah, the issue here is that we don't have these things in an array. Gold target time, silver target time, bronze target time. Did I code those going upward? Bronze, silver, gold, yeah. Still, I feel like this should probably be a dictionary. And yeah, it should just have what the target times are. Public, read-only, dictionary, medal ID to what, an int? Target times. This is even how you do this. Do not declare visible instance field. Field should be private. Apparently it is how you do this. But these multipliers, where do these come from? Sure. All right, well, that's where this stuff should be. And then same thing here for silver. And then for bronze. All right, now what's the problem here? A field initializer cannot reference a non-static field, method, or property. Difficulty data. Yeah, I see. Because this is based on your difficulty level. So it's like when you make a configuration, I guess it's going to get this stuff in there. Yeah, that's fine. So let's just delete this. And put this in here. Element should have the same indentation. Is that real? No. All right, so gold, silver, bronze, and if it doesn't exist, then it's infinite. We could put infinite in there if we want to. Could just say medal ID dot none, and just set this to, what is this, int dot max value. Okay, pretty reasonable. So now this would get deleted. And everything else is going to break now. Yay. Oh, man. All right. So in this particular case now, this function that I spent so long writing, even though it's just pretty much 2 lines of code, I now need to go through the target times in ascending order and figure out the the lowest one that you're less than. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. How do we do this? I mean, I guess we could just get a list of metal ID int sorted target times equals. What's the problem here? Because this is static and this is not static. So now this can't be done this way. Well, we're getting there. Can I implicitly type this? Because what we need to select the right thing. All right, what do we select? Yeah, there we go. Now we could do this. And then look through these things. Yeah. So for each of these, if it's less than that, return metal ID. Yeah, nice. And there should be no way for us to need to do this, but I'm going to do this anyway. Because minutes elapsed has to be less than or equal to the max value here. Otherwise, there's going to be a problem. Man, my stomach is rumbling and it's not even like 11 o'clock already. I've been eating lunch earlier and earlier for some reason. Oh, well. I don't feel distracted, at least. This is why I have breakfast in the first place. Maybe I should take a break at some point. Okay, so I have really broken practically everything, right? Maybe this should just be private. And we get the target time somewhere else. I'm not actually sure how I want to do that yet. Although if we're going to do that, then I guess we make this lowercase. All right, so metal earned. We still haven't done this. Let's fix up all the other issues first. Object reference is needed. Yeah, so where is the challenge mode configuration? It's in the title screen. All right, number of minutes per challenge. This is like the base time. So I guess we just have a get target time. Public int get base target time. Or just base target time. This is going to be, yep, bronze. Cool. Get that. All right, so that all looks good. Now what about this? Time remaining. Yep, going to be the base target time. Then this all needs to change. This is update tooltip. This is going to be get target time BB code. Target time breakdown. And that comes from the configuration. But it passes in an elapsed time. Where do we get that from? Apparently there. Let me delete all this. Okie dokie. Like that, I guess. Yeah, not too bad. So now we get what metal you would have earned. We get all the different times that you would have. This stuff doesn't look like this anymore. And this has to be a list. Maybe it doesn't have to be a list, though. Maybe we leave it up to the parent. No, we should just make it a list. We're saying it's BB code right in it. So string text equals that. Okay, so go through the different things that we had. I want it to look pretty much like how it did. So gold is going to be first because it's going to be the lowest one. So we want to go in reverse order of metals. So for each metal ID in get valid values metal ID dot reverse. Okay, so now we have a target time here. Now we want to format this correctly. So we're just going to do text plus equal /n time string. And then time string is going to be equal to the target time and then minutes. And then if this is the medal that you earned, then we put it in bold and then delete all the other stuff. Delete this, delete this. Okay, we are making progress. Yep, that's probably good. And then this is the last thing that needs to use that. So time tooltip is going to take this from the challenge mode configuration. Where is the configuration? There it is. Get reputation. Where'd that go? There it is. Grant reputation. So this is going to be get this based on the medal earned. Now, where is the medal earned? Medal earned is there. Is this something that oh, oops, no, it's a time elapsed. Where's the time elapsed? I don't have that here, do I? Drat. I don't. Although this should get the details. The details has it. Challenge mode details dot elapsed time. It does have it, but unfortunately it is private. So I'm going to make this public temporarily. And that's it. So this should build. That was a lot of changes. One was just a refactoring to make this easier. And then the other one was, well, I guess both were refactoring. It's just two different types. One is to make it easier and one is to actually make this thing visible. Nice. So there are breakdowns. 36, 41, 45. And it bolds the right one. And this should say that stuff. Yeah. There are a bunch of issues now. We never add the closing. There are a lot of things we do wrong. So text plus equal, close the /ul. Cool. So there's that. And then we also want to say gold medal, silver medal, and bronze medal. This is doable. It's just we're going to rely on converting an enumeration to English for right now. So this would say medal. And then this would say, this would be like medal ID.toString. And we're just going to rely on that being correct. I guess we can just do that. So that's not localized. Nice. Nice. Okay, what about this one? Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so if we start the elapsed time at, let's say, 36 minutes. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have made it like 2 seconds before that. Oh, this is wrong. Should be highlighting silver at this point. It's not. Why not? It's probably going to do it when it gets to 37 minutes or whatever. Or is it rounding? No, it's not rounding. Oh, it's not updating at all. Okay, that's strange. Maybe because this was static beforehand and now it's not static. No, it couldn't have been static because it would figure out your cumulative gold. So if I grant some items here, for example, we're going to see this go up, right? Yeah, and now it updated silver medal. Okay, so it's only when the money changes that this goes up. Now also needs to be whenever the time goes up. I don't like that. Yeah, update tooltip. This happens whenever your money changes. Needs to also be whenever a minute passes. Oh, man. I mean, technically, your money should change frequently enough for us to not have to do this. But there's no guarantee of that. But this is a kind of hefty thing to have to keep recreating. We should maybe only do this if the tooltip is showing. Tags custom content. If it's showing, then set this stuff then. I guess it's not that bad. We are calculating all of this though, which is quite a lot. I guess what we could do then is maybe inside of process call update tooltip and only do it when it's visible because it changes all the time. Yeah, I think that's the most reasonable thing. So let's get rid of this. Anywhere else that was called? Probably not. No, nowhere else. Okay, and then we need in process here. So if the game ended, then return. I don't know. We don't really need that here. We could just say this. So if, what is that called? Tooltip on parent dot is showing, then call update tooltip. Any change to money or time could cause this tooltip to become stale. So just update it if it's been opened by the user. I'm not even sure that's going to work. Well, let's go try it out. And then I probably need to start it at a time less than 36 minutes. Yeah. Where is that? Here. So this minus 5. So after 5 seconds, it should get updated to go from gold to silver. And as long as we see that happen, then I think we're okay. All right, so I just hover over here and then do nothing. And in 3 seconds, it should go to silver metal. Nice. That's pretty good. And then any money that we get should also be updated. So let's add 1 million customers and speed this up. And then just hover over this. We should see that very first line go from 0 to 3 and then 6 and then 9. 3, 6. It may never go to 9 because there may not be items anymore. Yeah, they're all gone. Okay. Looking pretty good. Is there anything else I wanted to do with that? I think there is. Time value should have a tooltip with metal breakdown, so we're done with that. Does it look good? I think so. What happens if we go beyond 45 minutes? Let's set this to 45. It should highlight nothing, meaning you're not going to get a medal at all. And yeah, I think it'll be clear enough to people. So it says 45 minutes. We keep hovering over it. It should just stop bolding it. Yeah, nice. And then if we win, it says time, gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal. Maybe it should say less than 36 minutes. Is that even true? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe that looks slightly better. Should the less than be bold or not bold? It's not even where that goes. It goes here. Should there be a space or not a space, I wonder? This is just formatting. No, that looks stupid, right? I think that's stupid. Yeah. All right, so delete all this. All right, next up, we should render the medal you get just after the time. Also, we should show the time taken, not the bronze goal and not the percentage. Show the medal you got. So that's on this screen. So this is what we have right now. And what I'm thinking is we show you the time, we say like 45 minutes, and then just put in parentheses like gold medal. Yeah, that should be pretty simple. Where is that? Time 100%, blah, blah, blah. Where art thou? Time. You're on the end screen. I guess we can delete this. Oh, right. This can't be public anymore. I got to fix that too. Because it's accessed from here now. Or rather, let's just make it properly public. Get private set. And then move this to wherever it belongs, which I guess is like down here somewhere. Okay, not bad. Now we want to go figure out where that is right here. Time string for end screen. So number of minutes per challenge. We're not going to do that anymore, right? Time taken. So we're going to say time taken. And then in parentheses, we're going to say which medal you earned. Metal earned text. Percent is gone. This is gone. That's fine. Metal earned, metal earned. That's not what I want to say though. No. All right, here's what I want to say. Metal earned text equals metal earned equals none. No metal earned. Otherwise, metal earned, metal earned. It's going to be capitalized now. What did I say? No metal. Maybe just like that. Yeah, that's probably decent. One second, gold medal. Yuck. Yeah, yuck. That looks bad. It'll probably look better when we have a graphic for it, I guess. And even then, I'm not sure what we're going to do for graphics for this. Like, should they look like bones? Should they look like medals or badges or trophies or, I don't know. Yeah. Well, at the very least, then let's at least lowercase this. Lower. How do you lowercase a string? ToString dot lower. There. Okay. And hovering over this shows you which you would have gotten. Yeah, nice. Reputation earned is broken now? That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good at all. Hover for breakdown just says set via code. What? Oh my god, we stopped calling Grant reputation? I knew I messed something up. I didn't realize, yeah, that line, copy change line, that's still got to be there. It's just got to be literally anywhere in this function there. No wonder I had like text equals Grant reputation, because when I type a line and then I go to another file, it sometimes auto formats and confuses me. Well, it always auto formats and it sometimes confuses me. Yeah, nice. Okay, so have we done this then? We should render the metal. Also, we should only show time. If you got at least bronze, it should probably say bronze. The next one should be unlocked. So it says eventually this will unlock the next difficulty level, but for now it doesn't do anything. Yeah, maybe just in this text. So this eventually this will unlock the next difficulty. Let's just delete that. Or maybe we should say here, like, you earned a bronze medal. Earning any medal unlocks the next difficulty level. I don't want to hear, that's for sure. Also, I don't know why these buttons are up here. Shouldn't they be down here? Yeah, probably. And then we have a separator there. I think I want this down at the bottom. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better, right? I kind of like that. And then what we can do is, oh wait, that says 40 out of 45. That should be deleted. And money, I guess 0 out of 50. That can also be deleted. You just put like 50 there. The next thing I want to do is I want to show in that time breakdown what it takes to get to the next level. Where's that text? Here it is. End screen. Text equals this plus like some new lines. Earn the next difficulty level is unlocked by earning any medal. Maybe also do this. Color equals UI constants help. All right. No one's probably going to read this. I need to make this more obvious, but at the very least, it's going to exist for now. Yeah, so there. Excuse me. I'll just take a picture and I can zoom in. So it says that you got the gold medal. That's why this is bolded. And you'll know because you'll just see the time right there. And then it says the next difficulty level is unlocked by earning any medal. So you need to at least win in 45 minutes. I guess like, no, yeah, 45 minutes. Yeah. But you get reputation no matter what. So that's kind of mostly done. I think I'm going to take a quick break. I haven't finished checking this in yet, but yeah, I'll take a quick break. I'll come back. We'll finish up these tasks and then we can work on some more content, I guess. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Hey, Koala. Welcome in. All right, close the game. So I have to check this in, and then we have to move on to the money label, and then we can move on to actual content that I wanted to do. So this stuff moved around. This is like improve the end screen and refactor code to get it to be improved. I don't think there's anything too controversial here. Yeah. So improve end screen. I also changed how the tooltip updates in while hovering over the town menu. This should probably improve performance since the text string is only built when hovering over when the tooltip is showing. But I actually did it now that the time can change the contents of the tooltip. What else? The time output at the end has been improved. It just shows the elapsed time, but it also has a tooltip showing the breakdowns for how you earn each medal. Okay. All right, next up is the money output. It's always going to be the goal, and it'll always be 100% now. Maybe it doesn't even say money. So it says time. Time's pretty important. Money. Is it even worth showing this? It can never change. And presumably you would have known what your goal was. I guess we could show it. It's not like there's a problem showing it. Target gold instead of money. Target gold. Yeah, maybe that. Target gold. And then search for money value. Money string. Yeah, we pretty much just return this. And just delete that whole thing. Cannot implicitly convert long to string. Yeah, it's also got to have a G at the end of it, I guess. So it'd be like this. Game constants money symbol. All right, pretty simple change. So now it's just going to always show you 5,000 gold in that case. Yeah. Time 1 second, target gold, difficulty, reputation earned, town perks unlocked, battle perks, buildings built, adventurers hired. Yeah, pretty nice. Oh, that's not nice anymore. What's going on there? Why does that look the way it does? Hover for breakdown. Oh, because this used to be the widest string, so it was making this. Oh, man, fine. Fine. Why does it look okay here, though? But it doesn't look okay in the actual game. What's the difference? Oh, because it's 400? Oh, that's probably why. We just need to make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, in fact, okay, that is kind of funny. If I change this specifically to be 400 or 300 even, yep, that splits it onto another line. Okay, well then let's just type out 400 so that we don't get confused by that later. And set this to be 350 or even 400 or something. I want this to be centered though. How do we do that? I don't think you do. I don't understand why. Is it because this thing has a minimum? Why is that happening that way? Yeah, I don't understand. What's making these things take up so much space? Like, why aren't they getting half and half? Huh. I don't see anything that would even change that. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what's doing that. None of these should have a minimum size or anything. Yeah, weird. I, yeah, weird. I guess if we just keep increasing the minimum, it's only going to add space to the right. Okay, I guess I see what's happening here. It's because it doesn't know how to use that minimum size or how to allocate it to have even column sizes. So I guess if I wanted to make it take up the right amount of space, we'd have to do this differently. I don't know how you would do that though. Like grid container just doesn't have the functionality, horizontal separation and vertical separation. So that's it. That's all I can control here. H separation is 20. Interesting. This only would kind of work. Yeah. I think we should just shrink this. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Change money label on end screen. I also increase the minimum size now that the time/money labels aren't huge. This way the reputation value doesn't get split onto two lines. Yeah, good. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Anytime you're in enough rep, we need to modify total rep. Cool. Hey, neural net, happy Monday. How you doing today? Change how winning works. We are done with that. Nice. All right, so next was to get the tutorial to work. I don't actually want to do that. I want to add some content. Come up with at least like 10 to 15 meta perks just to get an idea for whether this is fun. Should be easy enough just by granting certain abilities, especially quick move menu, more workers, some adventurer buffs, etc. Challenge track constraints. Come with 5 to 10 levels so that people can get a taste for this. Change a money objective each time. Oh, all right. So some of these can just be granting perks, but I had some other more unique ideas. Where are those ideas? Start with some perk. You'll now be offered some perk. Like some things can go up to a certain level. I do like that. So it lets you get to heights that you weren't able to get to before. But I don't think we have a way of doing that. And I wrote, ideally for implementation, we need a dynamic max level for this so that we don't even show you the highest levels until you've unlocked them. Yeah, I wonder how we would accomplish that. There is a dynamic max level thing. Maybe we could just do that. In fact, let's look at that. Faster Hunger. Faster Hunger has, what, 5 levels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 levels. And it has an overridden max level property. I think what we could do... Oh, maybe we can't do this. We need to know what mode we're in. Yeah, so let's delete all of this. Delete all of this. And change this to just be 2. And see what happens. Because I think this is the key. And then it's just a question of how do we figure out whether this should be 2 or whether it should be 5. And it's based on which perks you have, which we won't be able to fetch. So it's kind of a problem. It didn't even work. Why didn't it work? Because we're showing, I see. So we're only allowing you to get to level 2. So I click this. Now it won't offer anything beyond that. Yeah. So it's showing all of it. That's not exactly what I wanted. Yeah, how would we only show levels up to a certain amount? Well, I guess what we need to do is just get the list and only slice off a bit of it. What is this? Slice start length 0, comma max level. And now set this to 2. Is it intentional to make it look like Stardew Valley? No, that wasn't intentional. That started with an asset pack called Super Retro World. And a lot of people have commented it looks like Stardew Valley. Although it doesn't really play like Stardew Valley. But I think Stardew looks slightly different from this. I think if you have like grass and trees and they're like in a colorful environment, it's going to look kind of Stardew-ish. But yeah. I mean, I certainly don't mind. I like the aesthetic of Skeletons. Also, welcome in Spectra. Looks great either way. Yeah, thanks. I can't take credit for any of the artwork. I didn't do any of that myself, but yeah. Hey, nice. Okay, so this does work. And when we slice this, we need to slice it at this +1. But the only way we'd be able to figure out the max level... well, actually, we could change it, right? I think this would be tricky. And I think potentially kind of hacky as well. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, that does work. Oh, man. All right. So we do have the ability to do this. I think we're going to code this. Add the ability to have meta perks, which prevent you from... well, not prevent you, which allow you to get a higher max level of a particular perk. So one way to do this would be to dynamically change the max level of an ability. The problem is that this is based on... oh, wait, there's a get max level. How does that work? Probably because there's some static data that's read, right? Man. Where is it? Probably in base ability, max level. Deferred to virtual property. Did I make a C in here? I did not. But this is virtual. So it gets overridden here. We set it to hungerless bonus count. And that's based on whether or not we're in challenge mode. Yeah, I see. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, well, technically, title screen has challenge mode progress. Challenge mode progress has meta perks. Meta perks would just let us fetch what... wait, no, it doesn't. Hold on. I'm wrong about this. Where do we keep track of your meta perks? Right there in the configuration. Oh, okay. Well, I still think this is technically static, right? Yes, it is. Okay, so we could check that. So here's what I'm going to do to totally just test this out, I guess. We're going to do title screen, challenge mode configuration, meta perks dot has unlocked ability ID dot meta perk grant increased appetite. So if you have unlocked it, we're going to set this to 5. If you haven't unlocked it, we're going to set this to 2. And this will prove whether or not this works. All right, let's see. Yeah. So I have not unlocked the ability. And when we're offered this, it only shows a max level of 2. So I click it again. Now there are no more perks. But then if I, unfortunately, there's no easy way to do this, by the way. I need to just go to a high enough level where I get enough perk points when I win. Okay, so now we've gotten enough perk points. We have 13 perk points. Or no, we unlocked 13. So now we have 17. We click this. We click this. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so now we start a new challenge run. And now we're offered up to level 5. Yeah. Now I don't have the money. Something kind of funny happened there, though. The tooltip itself changed. So here it shows 5 levels. Here it shows 2 levels. If I click this, it actually goes up to 5 levels. This wouldn't probably work that way, right? We need to change. We need to change one of these things so that when it fetches the description, it does so with a different abilities component. Oh God. All right. Oh man. Well, yeah, this would work. So I guess we go code this for real. Yeah. All right, so there's meta perk granting perk. There needs to be a meta perk that grants a higher max level. Granting higher max level of perk. This is gonna be fun. Till 12 anyway, and then back to meetings. It's 1 hour. Well, I'm finally adding some content. So we have meta perks. For definition, a meta perk is something that adds a perk to your run, and a perk is just something that modifies a run or like improves a run. And a meta perk is a category of meta perks. So examples are a meta perk that grants a perk, a meta perk that allows for a higher maximum level of a perk. So this is what I want to work on right now. And I proved that it's possible. And now we need to actually do this thing. Yeah. Higher max level of perk ability data. Okay, so there is a perk to grant higher max level, and then there is the new max level, I guess. Max level. Meta final perks final V2 really final. Dash this time I mean it. So this represents a meta perk which allows you to get a higher level, allows you to be offered a higher level of a specific perk during a run. New minimum startup file mode, which doesn't require any classes. Is that your old C# message? You press up and then enter? It is. Hello, Phil, from 2 hours ago. All right, so perk to grant is going to be like that. This is going to be like that. That's going to be like new max level. Clone not implemented. Okay. And then ability description. All right, that'll be fun. Yeah, that'll just definitely be fun, right? Create with single ability. Hope we're getting it playable. Hey Matt, thanks for the resub. Yeah, we're slowly working through this. I am very, very much fueled by hearing what people have to say about this mode once it's playable. So we're slowly getting content. How was your weekend, man? So when we create this with a single ability, what are we doing? Ooh, what are we doing? We're technically starting you at level 0 of this thing. This is kind of a mess. All right. Yuck. Yeah, yuck. I gotta think about this. Weekend was good. Wife has a potential medical event, which has me anxious day by day, though. I hope everything's okay there. I'm glad the weekend was good. I think waiting for medical news is always difficult. Okay, so meta perk, higher level, increased appetite. Waiting is the worst part. Yeah, I wonder how many people can just sort of compartmentalize the anxiety from waiting about something. I imagine it's not easy to do. Grant increased appetite. Where is it? Okay, higher level increased appetite. We're just going to prove that this works. Higher level perk. The data needs to be changed. This stuff needs to be changed. This is going to be new max level. What's it called? What is this called? Max level? It should be new max level, I thought. Yeah, I want it to be that. New max level 5. So fill this in and fill this in. Okay, I'll be impressed if any of this works. Yeah. All right. So now in here, what we got to do is you got to check to see, are you in challenge mode? If you are, then we check to see if you've unlocked this ability. If you have, we change this. Otherwise, we return this. Now what? Is this asking for parentheses? Extract this nested ternary into an independent statement. If we do this, does it know how to... It doesn't know how to do this for us. Use block body for property. I mean, that'll help. And then can we extract out the statement? No. All right, well, how about this? If we're not in challenge mode, return hunger bonus list dot count -1. Otherwise, we know we're in challenge mode, and now we can delete this and that and that. Technically, if we're going to do this at all, then we should fetch the information from here, right? Can we just generically know that this has a thing modifying it? We should probably just use attributes for all this stuff. Because I think this is going to be a mess. So we want to know that you've gotten this ability, and then when you've gotten it, we need to fetch what the new max level is. And I'm going to need this information practically anywhere. So this is going to be like ability modified by some meta perk. God, this is a mess. A mess. I mean, it's not a mess yet. But if we had like 10 or 15 of these things, it would be a mess. So how do we even get this? We need to get the level of the ability that you've gotten from this and then figure out what the ability should give you. Don't we have that right here, though? New max level. Yeah. All right, let's do it. So this meta perk equals this dot get ability or default. Meta perk higher level. And we're doing this just so we can get a number here. Max level, new max level. Actually, I guess it's just max level. Wait, if this isn't defined, then what does it do? No, we need it. Oh, darn it. We need a way of fetching this from here. At which point, what are we even storing in the base class? We need some like public int get max level. And what this is going to do is it's going to get, I guess we need from the abilities component. Get level of ability. Data dot player ability dot ID. So if this is greater than 0, return the new max level. Otherwise, return whatever the old max level is going to be. Can't the meta perk know what this should be? Was it planned to have the perk UI be a tree of sorts or just choose your own path? Yeah, just a choose your own path kind of thing. One of the questions I have is, should picking any perk increase the cost of all of their perks? And I don't know the answer to that yet. So we'll have to figure out from player feedback, like, does it feel good? Does it not feel good? This is new max level. Maybe we should figure out what the level without this would be. That just inflates the grind then? No. Well, it changes your decisions a little bit. Right? So like let's say perk 1 costs like 2 points, and let's say a whole bunch of them cost like 2 points. And then let's say a few of them cost, let's say like 10 points. So let's say this was our entire store you could get, and you're given 10 points. You could get the first 5 perks with that amount of points. But if we made it so the cost keeps going up, now maybe you could only get like 2 or 3 of these, or you could get 1 of these. So now it's a little bit different of a decision. And it's not necessarily to make you grind. It's just to make you pick the choices a bit more. Because what happens in a lot of idle games is you end up getting like, let's say 1,000 gold. And now it's like, well, anything less than 50 gold is basically free. So you just click all those things whether or not you wanted them. And I don't really want that to be the decision that you're making here. I want it to be like you're kind of choosing your specific path through this tree. See, I think if every time you bought a perk, every other perk went up by 1 point, I think that'd be pretty interesting. In fact, if we did that, maybe every single perk could just cost 5 points then. And then they just go up 6 and then 7 and then 8. I kind of like that idea. I'm going to write it down at least. Ask whether we should revamp how costs work altogether. Maybe each perk costs 5 points no matter what. And every time you buy any perk, well, each meta perk, anytime you buy any meta perk, the cost for all of them goes up by 1. We can fudge the numbers a bit so that this isn't so punishing. Progression we want. Make perks eventually go up by 2 or 3. Hey, undo theory. Balancing games is always a tough thing. It is difficult. And also, I think it's one of the things that you can't plan ahead of time. You basically need to play test it and see how it feels. And a lot of games have gotten this wrong. Actually, I was thinking about something lately. In Diablo 2, a lot of the bosses are just like damage sponges. And I wonder if that was intentional when they made the game, or if they intended on you being like a higher level than you were supposed to be. So you basically wouldn't have beaten the whole game until you were level 80 something or whatever, and not the levels that people are tending to beat them at now. Anyway, I'm not trying to say the game is like poorly balanced or something. I'm just saying you achieve a certain thing with your balance numbers, and sometimes it's going to be a grindier play experience, and sometimes people are going to like that. So yeah, I don't know what these costs should be. Like right now, there's literally one thing and it costs 10. This is just some arbitrary number. And when you have one of something and it has a cost, it doesn't matter what that cost is because you're not balancing it against anything else. But once you have multiple things, then yeah, then you have balance you actually need to apply. So for right now, what we're trying to do is figure out just how do we even code this. I think we should probably figure out what the max level is at level 0. We should just probably figure out all the different max levels you could have. So it should be like max level. And this could be, let's say 2, 5. Yeah, and then the data changes. So this is going to have int max levels. And then this is public. Should probably just be like get max level. It needs to take in an abilities component though. So how do we do this? This is not right. This is player ability data.id. And then we need to return max levels of that. Get within bounds. Okay, I think that'll work. Why is this yellow? Property is confusing given the existence of method get max level. Does that exist? Seriously? Property is confusing. Oh, because base ability has a max level? Ah, drat. Okay, so maybe like get... Yeah, I don't know. Get current max level. So this gets deleted. This gets put over here. We can delete this too. So the max level is going to be get ability dot get current max level. And then we pass in the meta perks. I don't think I like this. Do I like this? I'm not sure. And then we just return that. All right. Well, we could probably clean that up, but let's see if it's working at least. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, it broke. So now let's find out why it broke. Type initializer through an exception, duplicate ability ID, meta. Oh, whoops. That was the easiest possible thing I could have messed up. This should have been meta perk higher level. Yeah, that was that was an easy one. All right, so we're in the game. We should be offered level 2. Yeah, nice. So there's level 1 and level 2. We get those and then we're done. But if we grant ourselves perks by default, which I need to go do, grant set equals new, perk points equals 10. Yeah, very easy fix for that one. Those 10 perk points would have to feel very strong in comparison to the 2. Assuming I got the smaller ones first, by the time I get to the last 10, it'd be 18, which is a hefty cost for one perk. I think, like, I know what you mean, but I think my overall point was just I want players to feel like they're carving out their own path in this tree. Well, tree. And not just that they're eventually getting everything that's cheap just because they have a ton of points. So that's what I think I want. Now, will that pan out? Like, let's say all we had in the end are 5 perks. It's like, I don't really care what order you get them in. Just pick whatever you want. But if we do end up having, let's say, like 20 or 30 perks here, I think then you coming up with your own path is kind of interesting. But still, without playtesting, it's hard to know what that's going to mean. So, like, let's say there's farm perk 1, 2, and 3. Do people just get these 3 first and they're like, well, now I'm getting the farm every single game? And I don't think that should be possible. Or maybe it is. I don't want people to feel like, well, my specialization, I basically made it farming and now I wasn't offered the farm. So this is a dead run. Like, I think that would feel bad. But yeah, that's why I got to think about this stuff. My original thought process for this was that I didn't want people getting bundles of synergies and then being annoyed that the synergy couldn't play out in that run. This is why we probably needed some synergies to be locked behind high point costs. Anyway, did I restart this? I don't recall if I did. Looks like I did. So now we get this perk. Interestingly, this does not change anything. I don't think it worked, did it? It didn't. Okay, why not? Because now, what are we doing here? Faster hunger. We check the max level. If we're not in challenge mode, just return this. If we are in challenge mode, there's no data validation here, which is kind of a shame. This is probably an issue. Let's go take a look at this. Okay, so we're in challenge mode, but we don't have this perk. So if I do this, it's going to return a level of 0. Yeah, that's fine. That's what I want. It gets called like a million times here. Hello, game. Yeah, I don't mind you adding these questions, Athletics. I think it's just hard to, like, I have a vision and I sometimes only half communicate that vision. And even then, the vision is sometimes based on, like, well, I don't know what the future is going to hold. Oh, whoops. I meant to click this. Okay, well, maybe it's not too late. All right, so now what does this equal to? It should be 1. It's still 0. Oh, I know why. Oh my God, I'm stupid. Okay, so the reason why this is happening is because that's not the perk I think it is. We need to go change. I don't even know where that is. Yeah, I don't know where that is at all. Meta perks tree. Does this have it? Hey, there it is. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so I want this to be there. Neat. Okay, so now there are going to be 2 icons that look identical, but they should have different tooltips. Yeah, fill this in, increased appetite. So if I click this, what happens? Yeah, so now it expands. And now this one expands too, which is actually kind of interesting because it should do that, I guess. And then I start a new challenge run, and now I'm offered level 5 of this. Yeah. Now I can buy this a bunch of times. Well, I don't have the money now. But then if I go back to the title screen and respecialize, and then go start a new challenge run, actually even just hovering over this. Yeah, and then I start a new challenge run. Now it offers level 2. Okay, we did it. So besides that there's no data validation behind any of this, we now have a way of adding a new class of meta perks. And the code is super ugly. And like I said, no validation. So there's no way to know that the max level is going to be less than the number of, I guess what we could do is we could, that's the mess. Math.min of this and that. What an ugly thing this is. Okay, well, what we could do is we could turn this part into a static thing. public static int get current max level. We want to return this abilities component AC and then an ability ID. So this is AC. This is the ability ID. This is not there. Wait, what? And then this is AC. Okay. There, done. All right, so let's get current max level. So now we can change this to say get max level based on meta perks and that. And that deletes a little bit of code. Yeah, it makes it look a little bit nicer. Isn't this just the max level? Oh, it is. All right. Well, I don't know. Let's go fill in the tooltip maybe. Does this fill this in, fill this in? Where is that? So what do we call the other one? Meta perk increased appetite, grant increased appetite. This is called grant increased appetite. So what should this be called? Maybe just increased appetite max level. Yeah. Increases the maximum level of increased appetite. Increases the maximum level that will be offered to you. Increase the max level of increased appetite that will be offered to you during a run to I don't know, new max level. And then our get description function needs to actually pass in a different thing than it currently passes in. Because now get description is going to take in 2 objects and return a string. And new max level now needs to be one of those objects. Cannot convert from method group to system. That's not even correct. I probably messed this up. Granted ability tooltip. That's a string. What am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? Oh, okay. This won't work. Data.max level carrier 1. Why is that? Properties should not return arrays. What, a list of ints? There's no get within bounds now. Unless I did code that. No, I didn't. Hooey. Well, there's probably some validation on that, huh? Okay. I think figuring out how to validate this without having some like reflection mess is going to be difficult. Now, granted, there aren't that many perks, so you could just test that each level works. All right, so this is looking fine. Now we go over to this, and it says increased appetite max level. Why is there a 5 at the bottom of that? What? Oh, because the order's wrong? This needs to be the other way around? I wonder if you can specify what named parameters are when you have function syntax like that. All right, increases maximum level of increased appetite that will be offered to you during a run to 5. So now if I click this, you see the max level is 5. Okay. All right, yeah. That's it. Oh, man. Yeah, what a mess. What an absolute mess. So how would I really do this, I guess, to not make this be obnoxious? I guess we could have some like player ability overriding the max level. The problem is I could see many different kinds of player abilities that do that sort of thing. Now, if we did do that, how would this work? I guess we'd pass in some kind of list that it's based on, and then some kind of like max level changer. So we just have a list of anything and we just count it. And then here, the max level changer would be this. But that only happens in challenge mode. All right, I could see that working. Let's check in what I've done so far. I don't want to lose this. Represents a meta perk, which allows you to be offered a higher level of a specific perk during a run. This is crazy. This is just absolutely crazy. Yeah, this is nuts. All right, so we don't want to check in town perk choice generator, but everything else I think we want to check in. Well, not this too, title screen. So this we can check in, and then these things we can check in. So here's what I want to do. I want to make all the different fixtures for these things. So if you think about it, we have like meta perk granting perk, meta perk granting higher max level of perk, meta perk granting like some specific thing. I think the UI stuff, it's nice that we did it, but I don't think that's actually very fast progress. But this stuff is, this is pretty good. Yeah, nice. Okay, so add, this is like the dumbest class name, meta perk granting higher max level of perks. Does that even fit in 50 characters? It does. There's also a perk that implements this. There's a lack of validation happening, unfortunately. There's no guarantee that the max level actually has data specified for it. All right. All right, so that's done. What other ideas did I have here? So you start with a perk, you'll now be offered a perk at a higher level. Adventure specific stuff like start with an ability. How would I code that? So let's say we had like grant quicker strike. We'd make an ability. We'd probably have some like meta perk granting adventurer ability, and then taking the ability ID and the level. And then what? Well, how about we just hard code this? Let's just give you quicker strike, and then however we did that, we'll work backwards. Yeah. Let's close all the other tabs. So somewhere over here, we grant you meta perks. Yeah, here, apply meta perks. Did VS Code just break? Okay, well, it's breaking a lot less than it usually did. So let's just reload this. Oh. So like I said, first thing is to make the fixtures. Then the next thing is to use the fixtures to make the content. and then it's playtest everything. Can I playtest this without saving? Not really, right? Where's the to-do list? Make tutorial. That we don't need. We can ignore that. In fact, let's push that down here. So we need the save system, and then we need metrics. But the metrics aren't for me. They're for everybody else. And then that's pretty much it. Yeah. Okay. Saving, I think we're going to start on Wednesday. And we're not going to get done with the content today, but we'll at least make some progress. So let's see what we're doing here. Go through all the meta perks. If it's a meta perk granting a perk, then give you that thing. Otherwise, I think this shouldn't be that hard to do, right? UI.overlay visibility controller.choose battle perks panel force grant. We have a force grant. How did this work? Create perk choice. This is random? What? Did adventurers? Not the same as purchasing a perk? Okay. Let's look through the deleted code thing that I have. I think this will do it for me. So there's some like battle perk choice. Here it is, generate battle perks and then grant it to them. So this generate, that's what I need to go change. All right, so let's just copy paste that. Is there a way to give a specific battle perk? We make a bunch of perks and we return a new battle perk choice with that new stuff. And we want specifically a skill perk. I don't think this is that hard to do, right? Public static battle perk choice. Generate skill granting perk. Adventure class. We probably need the adventure class there. Adventure class. I don't know if we really do. An ability ID. I guess technically the ability ID, it only ever corresponds to one of these. Same save structure. Thinking playtesters want to delete their saves sometimes for testing, especially with new builds. I think we got to design it. I'm going to probably spend tomorrow designing it. And I got to keep that stuff in mind of like, how will people delete just their challenge mode data? What if they just want to do this for playtesting? Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to do that stuff yet. I think we can get this with just the ability ID. Let me think about this. All adventure data. We have a whole bunch of abilities here. Yeah, innate and then skill table. So skill table. We can just look up which skill table contains it. That shouldn't be too bad. So let's just take the ability ID. There's no other way to do that though, right? No, there isn't. All right, now things get a little bit tough. We need to figure out which adventurer has this. So adventurer class, adventurer class. There is no way of getting this right now, if I'm not mistaken. We search for skill table data. Where do we use this? There aren't that many places. Adventurer data. Data, I can unmax skills. I don't want that. There's no way of doing that. Stack computations. No, I never do this. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to make a static thing here. Public static adventurer class. Get adventurer class from ability ID. It shouldn't be that hard to write, but we do have to iterate through all of them. So for each adventurer data in all adventurer data. Well, I guess this wouldn't be here. It'd be over here. And we don't have a function for that, do we? No, we just have get. Could we say, well, I guess let's just put that there then. Just put this function over here. Get adventurer class from ability ID. So go through all of the data that we have. And this better be the right data. Yeah, it is. And it's gotta be, do we store the class? We do. Okay, well, Fine. We don't need to do that. Actually, why do we do that? No, it's a display name. Oh, my bad. Wait, what? Oh, I misread. Okay, I understand. Okay, so go through everything in data, and if adventure data dot skill table data dot contains, what are you? Skill table data. What are you? Skills. Fine. Skills dot contains. If it contains the ability ID or that returns it, contains it, then return that. Otherwise, return adventure class on none. Probably just throw an exception in that case. Okay, cool. So we have our function. Now let's use this function over here. So adventure class equals all adventure data dot get for ability ID. So now we have an adventure class. Now we need the perk, and then we need to return a new one of these. And the perk is going to be battle perk. Okay, so battle perk equals, how do we do this? Oh God. Okay. That's not what I want. We have no way of generating a skill perk specifically. It's always random. It's always random. All right, so then the new question is, do we really want to grant specific abilities to adventurers? Like, is that a good perk to have? Because it might not be. Like, when would we do? Yeah, I guess we would. Yeah, we would do this. Fine. Oh, man. Fine. Public void generate with specific ability. Ability ID. Get unmaxed skills, sample them, blah, blah, blah. Just copy this down to here. So we have the ability ID already. Now what do? We need the town. And we need the adventure class. All right, current level, existing skill perks is not null, and that blah, blah, set it. Town adventure class ability ID. Okay, if this works. Oh man, I think it'd be really nice if it worked. All right, so now what do? We go back to our generate a battle perk thing. Where is that? Generate skill granting perk. Generate specific skill. Generate perk granting specific skill. Yeah, that's what I want to say. All right, so battle perk is a new skills battle perk. And then generate it. And this needs to take in the town and the adventurer class and the ability ID, and we don't have the town. Okay, that should do it. All right, so instead of generate battle perks, we're going to do generate perk granting specific skill. We take in the town, we take in the adventurer class, which I never got. Did I never get that? Did I need to get that? No, it's gone through there. So I just passing the ability. All right, ability ID dot quicker strike. And that's it. That should do it. Let's try running it. So now, by default, we're going to get quicker strike. And when we get the rogue, they should have that ability innately now. So I have the archer by default. So let's hire an adventurer and hope we get the rogue. Nope. Let's hire an adventurer until we get the rogue. There it is. And yeah, they're level 2. So if I click them and go to adventurers, yeah, they have quicker strike. Now we need to get lucky and have us start with the rogue. There's a 1/3 chance of that happening, so it's not like we have to get incredibly lucky. That's the mage. That's the archer. That's the mage again. Like I said, 1/3 chance. There's the Rogue. Okay. And yeah, there's Quicker Strike. Wow. Wow, I'm impressed. I gotta pat myself on the back for that one. All right. So yeah, that works. Now what we could do is we could grant you a specific level of that, but I think if we just do this twice. So if I do perk choice 1 and perk choice 2 here, I think we'll get Quicker Strike level 2. I'm not actually positive this is going to work. And if it doesn't really matter. That's the mage, so we got to get the... it's probably faster to just do this. I say that, but I'm very bad at winning a 1/3 chance, apparently. 4th try. Yeah, nice, level 2. And is it actually faster if we start an instance with him? Chop, 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 chop. Yes, it is. Hey, Vintage. Things are going pretty well. We are making some good progress here. Whew. Yeah. Man, I think today's going to be adding all these fixtures. I'll show you some of the work that we did so far. So now we have the concept of an ignorable timer. So it used to be that the timer would count down, and when it hit 0, you would lose. Now there is no way to outright lose, but if you don't get at least the bronze medal, you just won't progress to the next difficulty, but you'll still get reputation. So here, let's say that the time elapsed was like 3 hours. When you finally win, instead of saying gold medal, it's going to say you don't get any medal, but you'll still get reputation, and the reputation turns into perk points. So when you go to the title screen, now we have however many perk points we earned, and you can use it to buy meta perks that are going to increase your next run. And we now have 2 categories of meta perks. One that grants you a perk at the beginning of a run. So this one says you start the run with level 1 increased appetite. And then one that can increase the maximum level of a perk. So this will allow increased appetite to go up to level 5. So if we buy this one, we can now get up to level 5 of the ability. And then we're adding another meta perk class right now that can start your character with a specific... Oh, that's a problem. How did that even happen? Hang on a second. I entered some weird state there. Oh, pressing escape closes just the main... Okay, that's a bug. I gotta write this down somewhere. Bug, open meta perks from the title screen, then press escape. It'll close both challenge mode dialogues, not just the perks one. Anyway, and then the other thing that we did was I changed some of this stuff. So yeah, now the time just shows how much time you took because there's no countdown. And again, it breaks down which medal you got. The reputation earned, it tells you how much rep you get for each medal you would have gotten. It's not clear from this dropdown that this is based on the difficulty. So this gives you 240, but if you were to go to a higher difficulty level, it's going to give you more. So now we got 1840. So we got 19 perk points from that. And that's only level 10. Isn't that nuts? How much does level 20 give you? 3,400 reputation. Yeah, whatever. Fine. You earn 1 perk point. You earn 1 perk point. I should have one more new line. You're going to be enough perks to support that many? So the thing that's going to happen is perk cost will increase somehow. Oh, that shouldn't happen. Hang on a second. There's a G right there. There we go. Perk cost will increase somehow. I don't know the somehow yet. So option 1 is just some perks cost more. Option 2 is the cost increases as you buy them. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's just those two. And I'm kind of leaning toward this one, but we'll see through playtesting what feels best. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool if every single perk had the same cost. And buying any perk increases the cost by like 1 gold or something, or one point. Yeah, or the combination of options. Yeah, that's true. We could do that. Yeah, I want to see how this looks because I think everyone's going to have an idea for what they want as far as a build goes. And I don't know how much we should try to stand in the way of that build. And I was talking about this earlier, but let's say we had like 5 farming perks. So any perk for the farm is going to mean that getting the farm is much better. And same thing, like 5 fishing perks, 5 treasure perks, whatever. It's like, wouldn't you probably, if you get any one of these, wouldn't you get the other 4? Wouldn't you prioritize those? And maybe not. But I'm concerned that all players are going to be like, I'm going to max out this system, and then I'm going to move on and max out this system, and then I'm going to, and they're not going to like pick and choose. Could do a tree method where there are meta perk trees and meta perks deeper in each branch. Yeah, so that's the way you would try to get around this if that's what people ended up doing. You'd make it an actual tree, and then yeah, you could say the cost in the tree keeps going up. So that it's like, well, you could try prioritizing this, but you're probably foregoing like another 8 perks in the process. I might split perks to boost power on both of them as I'm earning reputation. Yeah, it's definitely possible. The other thing too is it doesn't really matter whether people are like being super powerful immediately or later, as long as they're having fun. I think the problem is when you trivialize a game for yourself by figuring out a strategy that's overpowered, and then the game never stops you from doing that. Because you can't count on people to not use broken stuff. I mean, glitches are different, right? If there's some like long glitch setup, people might avoid those. But if the game is just like, click this button and get plus 1000% power, or click this button and get 10%, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to go with this, right? And I think that'd be fun for a bit, and then you'd be like, oh, well, it's not really fun anymore. I'm just stomping everything. So yeah, we're making some progress here. Okay, so we have a way of granting this thing. We should probably specify what level we should grant it at. So let's just take in int level. And then generate with a specific ability int level. Oh, this isn't good. Level to generate. And this needs to be current level plus 1. It just needs to be level to generate, right? But it can't be 0. But now we don't use the current level at all. What? If it's not null and we have a value, then get it. Otherwise, just set this stuff. Does this work? So now this is going to be, oh, the current level now needs to go down here. I see. So we're going to say current level plus 1. Existing skills perk. Yuck. And now we don't use the town or the adventure. Oh, man. All right, well, we're working our way through this. Could you tie those huge 1000% bonuses to heavy negatives elsewhere? Well, so if you're aware as a game designer that they're like you actually have 1000% bonus somewhere, then you need to just like not have this be so large. I guess what I was saying is from a player perspective, you will find synergies that the dev might not have realized, and each individual thing might not be so bad. So imagine if it was like farming plus 1 speed, and farming plus 1 crop value, and farming plus 1 something else. Each one of these things might be like, oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And then someone gets all of them and you're like, whoa, that's totally broken. That's where there's potentially an issue there. Hey, Branko. Yeah, it is a purposely large mouse cursor. It kind of started as a joke, but then I just kept it that way because it is kind of nice. Well, welcome to the stream. All right, so I broke something somewhere, probably in here. This is generate with specific ability. This is deleted, which now means we don't use the town in here, which means we don't need this when it comes to generating it, which comes from here. So now what we could do is we could just say, grant this thing at level 2 and delete all of that. And let's try it out. You bumped yours up as you've gotten older. I think most of the time the person using the mouse will know where the cursor is anyway. So for this, it's mostly for the stream. That way you can see what I'm pointing at and complain that the cursor is too large. What did I just do? Oh yeah, that. So now they have level 2 quicker strike. You know, in fact, what we could have done here is we could have, let's open this file. We could have granted, could have done this like this. We could have granted this one for each character. So this could have been like Echo Strike, and this could have been why can't I think of anything? Wild Shot? Rapid Shot, yeah, there. Oh, but then when you hire those adventurers, won't it show that they're just level 2 and not level 3? I think it will. Is that a custom engine? No, this is Godot. All right, so now we got to go hire an adventurer. Yeah, it says they're level 2. I don't know what you would think for this. So let's say there was a meta perk that said something like Archer Power, something like that. And it says grants level 2 rapid shot. Now you hire the Archer. Should they show as level 2 or level 3? Oh, that was loud. Hey, Batman. Thanks for the resub. And I think my answer is I don't really care. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care. So let's just ignore this. Because what we could have done is we could have made it so that this function, whenever level is greater than 1, we call this twice. So we're giving you 2 perks for it. But I think I'll just write a note here. Generates a single perk that grants a specific skill at a specific level. Note that by only generating a single perk, when the adventurer with the skill shows up, they'll only appear to be 1 level higher, even if the level you granted was more than 1. Yeah, I don't think it matters. Okay, so now we have the ability to do this. It's very simple code. And we need a perk that then gives you this, which means we need to go through all the perks that are meta perk granting adventurer ability, which I would need to go code. What time is it? 11:56. Okay, we could maybe code this in like 10 minutes and then maybe I'll get lunch. So let me copy this code somewhere. Oh, you know what we could do? We could just, let's just comment this out. Okay, so here we go. Another meta perk category. Let's start by making this. We're going to say meta perk quicker strike. Like grant quicker strike. Yeah. Oh, Taco Bandit, thank you too. For some reason that didn't make a sound for me. I wonder if it showed up on stream. But yeah, thank you both for the subs. All right. I hope everyone's ready for this. Gotta reload VS Code again. I don't think this should be too hard to do. Hello. Yeah, I don't think this should be too hard to do. Except for F12 isn't working. That's going to make it a lot harder. All right, so we save this as grant quicker strike. I probably don't even want to ever do this. So I probably should have made this something that is a skill I actually want to grant. Because this is probably super powerful. But still, let's do it. All right, so the icon ID is going to be whatever quick strikes is. What is that called? Quick strike. Icon ID. Diving dagger. Diving dagger. Okay, gets grant quicker strike. Level 1 required none. All right, perk to grant. So ability ID to grant is going to be quicker strike. And level to grant is going to be 1. And now this needs to be different data. Meta perk granting adventure ability data. Whoops, it says ability twice. Okay, so grant quicker strike. Is that what the other one says? Where's increased appetite? Yeah, just grant increased appetite. Okay, so grant quicker strike. Grants quicker strike level 1 to the rogue. Oh god, base ability tool. Oh god. This is gonna be it's gonna be a little bit harder than I thought. Yeah. Well, whatever. We still gotta do it. So let's go do this. Save that. This represents a meta perk which grants a specific ability to an adventurer. Hey Whip, are the videos online when you started development on the game? Past broadcasts only back a few months. Earliest devlog on YouTube. Game looks fairly far along. Yeah, they're all in this playlist, which I think the playlist is public, but then all the VODs themselves are probably unlisted. So yeah, but I should have pretty much every single VOD there. So if you want to see what the game looked like on day 10, for example, yeah, let's click this and find out. Do I ever actually open the game? I do. It looked terrible. It's so bad. All right, come on past me. Open the game. There it is. Yeah. So this is what the game looked like way back then. This is, see how it says selected character, warrior, health, power, fortitude? What that dialogue looks like now, I don't think I can launch a game right now, so I'll just show it on Steam, I guess. What that looks like now is this. Look how much better this looks compared to this. And yeah, the town was just like 3 plots of land and a giant warehouse. Kind of crazy. Okay, so meta perk granting adventurer ability. This is this data. We have max level ability to grant and level to grant. That's here. Ability ID. Int. Okie dokie. This is ability to grant. And this is public int level to grant. It should know what I want to do. Yeah, there we go. All right, don't do that. This is granting adventure ability. Really got to change that at some point. Maybe they should all inherit from like some meta perk thing. And then that cuts this out. Is that even... Oh, weird. Yeah. Wait, no. What am I doing? Granting adventure ability. Yeah. Okay, get description. We're going to need to figure that out. Oh, man. I don't even think we have a way of doing this, do we? Maybe we do. This isn't a player ability anymore, though. Now it's a... It's a base ability? Doesn't it work the same way? Data perk to grant? What is this? Oh my god. If I could finally press tab here. There we go. Cannot convert from abilities component to node. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it takes in an entity and the entity has an abilities component. Oh man. Don't I do this somewhere though? Is there a Git tooltip in here? No, where is this? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know where this is. Tooltip, set up tooltip for ability. How do we do this? Oh my God. Oh, I don't like this at all. All right, for now, we're gonna hack our way through this, and then we're going to make this a lot better. So this is meta perk granting adventuring ability. And we need an adventurer here. Oh. Hey Leaf and hey Archaea. Prove it. How's it going, Leaf? You excited for the final season 8 or whatever it is? Because I am. 3x the flamethrower damage. This is a mess. This is a mess. What a mess. We don't even make... Yeah, we don't make any of this stuff. Adventurer. All of this is gonna break. He laughs. AI could laugh. That doesn't prove anything. But I assure you I am a human. Someday, maybe that won't be treated as a joke, and you'll actually need to say that to people, and then they won't believe you because they'd be like, an AI would say that too. Battle perk choice UI. All right, so I want all of this in here. So ability.get tooltip. This is the tooltip text. Okay, now what? We need the town for this? That's not even doable, is it? Oh my God. No, this won't be doable. Put your finger on your nose and cluck like a chicken. Nah, I'm an AI. I changed my mind. Oh, this is such a shame. We can't create an adventurer without a town. Or maybe we can. What if we just set this to null? No, it's going to break everything. I think it's going to break everything. We never added to the scene tree. Maybe we could. I think this is going to... What if we just didn't show you what this did? No, we can't do that. This is too bad. I feel like I was so close to this. Yeah. What does create even do? Returns a level? We're not even going to do this. You won't have a level here. All right, now get what? The abilities component? And then set its level to grant. Okay, if this works, I mean, this is bad. You're not supposed to be able to make an adventurer without a town, and we're trying to do this. Oh man. All right, let's go add this in here now. Meta perk quicker strike. Okay, here's the moment of truth. How long did this take? I mean, I haven't even gotten it working, but it was like 12 minutes. Okay, so we go back to the title screen and we hover over this. Grants quicker strike level 1 to the rogue. Oh my God, it actually worked. It actually worked. Okay, now we go through this. So this is meta perk granting adventure ability. And we call one of these. And we figure out which ability ID it should be. And which level it should be. And that's that. That is that. So yeah, we're granting level 1. And let's just change this to something totally random here. Let's make it be inspiration. So this is now a mage ability. So it's still going to say grants quicker strike to the mage. But the tooltip should be correct. It'll show the fireball one, which is percentage based. I should probably find something that does damage. Yeah, let's go take a look. Yeah, casting fireball has a greater chance to inspire mental swiftness. So this is level 1. So let's click this. And now let's go start a new challenge run. We hopefully get the mage. We did not. We have to just keep doing this until we get the mage. There it is. And now we should have inspiration. Yeah. It's all working. Okay, so the cardinal sin of coding that we've committed is this trash here. We need to gut this. Refactor this with battle perk choice UI. Yeah. This one doesn't take a town though. Okay, so what's an example of any skill in the game that has a damage number on it? That one. Stalagmite and Ice Blast, I guess. Stalagmite and Ice Blast. Okay, let's go try that then. So if I give this Stalagmite, I wonder what it'll say. Because it's going to pull a damage number from out of the blue. Well, first of all, I didn't have it. I got the mage. Oh well. So it says grants Stalagmite for 17 damage. Yeah. Yeah, so let's say there was another perk next to this that said like give the mage plus 50 power. That 50 power isn't going to be represented by this tooltip. I think that's okay. Because there's no way I'm coding that. There's just no way. I'm not going to do that. You got to draw the line somewhere. So now we start a new run and we should have, well, if we get the mage. Again, there's a 1/3 chance of getting the mage. I probably should have made a 100% chance. There it is. So yeah, there's Stalagmite. So now do they use it in battle? I think it takes 7 seconds, but then a spike of earth should come out of this thing. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's working. I gotta say, this has been a pretty fun set of things to code. It's like, they're definitely difficult challenges here. And we've gotten through how many of these? Where did it go? All right, so we got through this one. We got through this one. We got through this one. Start with X random battle perks. Honestly, that should be even easier to do. Start with increased stats. Yeah, that should be pretty easy. Start with DPS. Oh, start with a DPS adventure. Yeah, I made this the case by default, but we could have this be a meta perk, like guarantee that you start with a rogue, mage, or archer. So this is what's kind of funny about making this sort of thing. Meta perks are just supposed to improve your run somehow. And this somehow could be more power, more speed, more perks, more money, whatever. But what's kind of interesting is we could take things from you and then push them into meta perks. So like we currently start you with 50 gold. We could start you with 0 and be like, oh, you want to start with some money? That's a meta perk now. Or same thing, like every time you start a run, you start with either mage, rogue, or archer. But we could start you with anybody and be like, oh, well, now it's a perk. Now you got to buy it. And normally that would be unfun, but this is an incremental game. And you can win runs if you don't start with a character you want. And you, anyway, there's a whole bunch of ends that I could keep going with. But yeah, I think it could make sense. All right, so let's set it back to quicker strike, because that's what it's supposed to be. Man, this is very interesting. So this is the only code I think I don't like here. Let's review it really quickly. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I got to look through the rest of this too. I got to get lunch pretty soon. What did I want to do really fast? Darn it. I looked through this. Yeah, that right there. What is this? All adventure data. Sometimes you have an ability ID manifested without knowing exactly which adventurer it belongs to. This function will fetch that information. If we ever call this a lot, we could just cache a reference, a dictionary of each ability to its owner. Because right now this is O of n squared. Well, it's O of like nm, where n is the number of abilities and m is the number of adventures. So realistically, it's going to be like 100. But we could make it constant time. Okay, so I want to make 2 changes when I get back. Where I left off. Overall, still adding meta perk fixtures. But specifically, it was I need to address the to-do item in meta adventure ability. This. Oops. I meant to just copy that. And then after, I want to make a meta perk class that... Is that the only place we override clone to do nothing? We intentionally do not support cloning. Where is that? Meta, 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 and trade-off. Drat. I want to make a new perk class like player ability without clone. I don't need the same function in 4 separate places. Trade-off ability. It kind of is a meta perk. What is a trade-off ability? An ability that's intended to be used as part of a trade-off choice in challenge mode. Some of these abilities will only be able to be positive or negative. Oh God. What? So what? We just have can generate and generate? And I'm guessing player abilities don't work like that? They must not, because we define these here. So this isn't really trade-off ability, I guess. It's more like ability with parameters. Where do we define these? Some may be parameterized. What? Some may have generators? Get delta generate. Yeah, wow, interesting. Okay, so just a generated ability. I think that's what we should probably call this. Trade-off ability should maybe be renamed to generated ability. In that it can change. It can change under some circumstances. Maybe change the comment if I rename it so that it's clear that it was used for twists. Oh man. I can feel all this stuff coming together. And it's going well. It's just like I want it to be faster. Working hard or hard at work, those are the same thing. Hey, Becca. All right, I've been putting off lunch. I gotta eat. I'm actually really hungry now. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm gonna go get lunch. I'll be back in about an hour, so maybe at like I'll just aim to be back at 1:30. And hopefully it's sooner than that. And then yeah, we'll just pick up where we left off. Okay. Well, thank you all for watching. If you like this Twitch stream, you should follow it. You can watch it every day. And if you want to join Discord, there's a link. I will see you all after lunch. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for the subs, and hope to see you soon.